Hello and welcome to episode 96 of the Critical Twits Gaming Podcast, where today we discuss Malifaux's Gaining Grounds 2018. Hello and welcome to the third in a series of Malifaux podcasts from the Critical Twits. Last time we discussed the errata, the time before that we discussed our first proper tournament, and today we're going to be talking about Gaining Grounds 2018. I'm Brian Ellis.
I'm Aaron Ravitsky.
And I'm Joey Lewin.
And between us we play every single faction in the game, so we've got you covered. You can pick your favourite based on what factions we play. I play Guild, Neverborn and Outcasts.
Now I'm playing Gremlins and Ten Thunders.
And I'm playing Arcanists and Resurrectionists.
So hopefully we'll be able to give you a nice overview of Gaining Grounds 2018. But I hear you cry through the wires and cables and presumably some kind of pipe of the internet. What is Gaining Grounds 2018? One of my glamorous assistants will now explain.
Really amused at the internet coming through a pipe. Steampunk internet, fuck yes! Sure. Cool. So, Gaining Grounds 2018 is the new set of scheme strategies that have been released in 2018 for Malifaux. For those of you that aren't really aware, the original book had schemes and strategies in.
Yeah.
And then 2016, 2017, 2018, I believe are the three that they have released.
Yes.
I don't think there was a 2015 or a before one. Are updates. So, this is intended to make the tournament scene better. It is intended to make your general games better and to reflect what abilities and stuff is going on. A great example of that, which we'll get to later for specifics, is summoned models aren't as powerful anymore because there's a lot of summons going on in Malifaux at the moment.
Summoning was kind of dominating the competitive scene a little bit.
It was, and so that kind of potentially has dropped off now, which I like.
Yeah, so we talked about the errata last week as a way of kind of balancing the game and keeping things fresh and mixing it up. I can't think of another game that routinely changes the way you win and your victory conditions in this way.
No.
We've played a lot of other games. We've played
we
pretty much everything Games Workshop's ever released. Please forgive us, we're better now.
Well, no, that's not true anymore.
Oh, they've moved on since we gave up on them.
Yeah, there's like Underworld and all that kind of crap
things with hexes and shit.
Yeah.
We played Warmer Hordes.
We did.
Dabbled with other bits
for
and
a fair
pieces.
while. We played War Machine actually.
Yeah.
Dabbled in this and that and the other.
Me and Colin had Relics stuff for a while. Tried that. That was
dabbled with
right.
Infinity.
Yeah, you guys did, didn't you?
Yeah, you weren't interested at all.
No.
I think I only watched that game, but seemed alright.
I mean, I've looked at plenty of other systems like Flames of War and everything, but it didn't have enough dragons or wizards in it. So. And I know who wins.
Flames of War makes me anxious, and I will now explain why.
Because you agree with Colin's previous sentiment.
From the end of last podcast, no. Flames of War upsets me the same way that going and playing Airsoft upset me when we used to go, in that I can't paint my models the colours I want because people will go, oh, that's the Finnish tanks didn't have that particular type of camouflage until 1943, and that particular tank was actually stopped production and all of them had been destroyed by 1942.
For the people that genuinely would come up to us and go, oh, you're wearing British camo and using an American gun. And I'm here to have fun. Last week I ran around in a trench coat with 2 pistols because it was fun.
Me and Colin used to go in camouflage shorts and T-shirts that looked as communist as possible and pretend to be Cuban revolutionaries with our AK-47s and had great time until apparently the other kids didn't like it. That's why I don't play Airsoft anymore.
Yeah.
I just cry and masturbate.
Thinking about the times that were.
Tis our lube. So, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the strategies and then the schemes in the order that they appear in the Malifaux app.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to know how we feel about the Malifaux app, listen to the last episode because we talked about it a little bit in there.
We did.
At some point, we may have moved it around for purposes of clarity. We may not have.
Yeah.
It's the beginning and or the end.
Yeah. Yes, it's in there somewhere. So you can follow along, you can read and such like. We're probably going to talk about them. I have played all of them now, I do believe. Oh no, I haven't played one of the strategies. Joe, you've played most of them. Aaron, you've not. You've had a dabble.
I've had one.
Yeah.
one
So we've got a little bit of practical experience behind it. We didn't want to just record our first feelings. We wanted to have a go at some of them.
Yeah.
And so hence why we're later than all the other podcasts, because we're the best and we bring you hot takes backed up with practical knowledge. So for those who don't know, you will have one strategy that everyone plays. Both players play and are trying to score, and then you'll have a selection of schemes. So these, there'll only be one at a time available, so we're not going to talk necessarily how they interact with each other. We may talk later about how we see the schemes interacting with the strategies and similar.
Yeah.
So, first one, play for information. Knowing your opponent is half the battle. On any turn after the first, non-peon models may take a 1 interact action, targeting an enemy model. They gain gathered intel. And once they have gathered intel, they can't then have intel gathered on them. And then at the end of each turn after the first, whoever's got the most gathered intel gets a point.
Yep.
And then everyone loses the ability.
You also lose the condition.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's important that it is a condition.
Yes.
If you suffer severe damage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting kind of little twist on it, because I played this at the tournament and didn't get any severe damage on any of my models to remove it. I then played Aaron and he beat the shit out of me.
Yes.
And then he said schnot in a Sean Connery kind of way. You beat up my models and I lost the condition.
I specifically picked things that were going to get bonuses to attack, so I could get
extra flips and such like. I quite like this.
Yeah.
It encourages you to get close because you have to be engaged with models to do it, so it kind of gets you together.
Yep.
And the thing I like about it most is that only one person can score each turn.
Yes.
Which is interesting because there have been some of those before. I think we're seeing more of them where we're kind of competing for the points.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, so it's every turn after the first. So let's say we get to turn 5 and I've scored 4 points from it. If you have a 6th turn, you flip the right card, I can no longer score because I've maxed out my points, but the other person still could, so I still have an incentive to stop them. So that's interesting.
Yeah, keeps the interaction going.
I like that Wyrd are moving more and more towards these strategies that mean you can't perfect score.
Yeah.
So both people can't get 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's a very good move on their part.
Yeah, because it gives you a bit more freedom in the tournament chartings and things.
Yes, there's less likely to be draws. There is also... It makes it a much higher stakes game with the strategy. Because if you could both score it... Now, there are still ones in here that you can both score. But it means it's going to be a lot less... bloody and potentially a lot less confrontational if you can both kind of just bugger off and do your things on the side and not really interfere with each other.
There has been previous ones where that has I played and watched games where people have basically gone, okay, we're both going to score this,
but you just sat there waving at each other from across the table.
Because we can't. Neither of us can score this. These other strategies that we've got in place, schemes we've got in place. So we'll just score this for this turn and then figure it out then. Yeah.
You have your 2 table quarters. I'll have mine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pushing people to actually engage and everything is good.
Yeah. What kind of models do we think are going to be good at this?
Fast models are great because you can run in and go, haha, like anything with nimble because you get an extra move. Reckless.
Masters are good at this because they can charge and
still get intel.
Ping one off. That sounds rude.
Tanks. People like Joss,
that
can run in and go, or just walk up and go, boom, I'll have some intel, and then sit there going, but I can survive that.
Yeah,
especially anything that can reduce the possibility of severe damage being put across.
Yeah, anything with hard to kill, etc. Hard to wound. Hard to wound,
impossible to wound, especially.
Yeah, anything that's survivable, because if you kill a model with a condition before the turn ends, it doesn't count. It doesn't score it. I used Raffikin at the tournament under Joe's supervision. It was not Raffikin. No, he looks like him. I used Dr. Grimwell at the tournament, who can nimble in, and he just kept grabbing. He grabbed the condition.
Well, he's great because he's hard to break away from.
Yes, so he gets a positive to keep you in place.
Yeah.
Which means, because if you're locked in combat with someone, but there's a model over there that hasn't got gathered intel, being able to walk away for one, take your disengaging strike, wiggle free, and then go and grab a point is good, and he gets his bonus, so he's a bit of a pain. So there's lots of different ways to kind of theme your crew to this one. And it feels like the kind of strategy where you're like, actually, I need to think about what I'm taking. You need survivable models that are going to get up close to things.
Yes.
Or you need models that can pull your things back. So the captain for Arcanists is really good because one of your models walks over and goes, haha, I'll have some intel. If they've already activated the thing that's gotten close or something else and it's safe for an activation, the captain then goes cool and pulls you back away from the front lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got your points, but you don't have
Yeah.
things.
A model I'll always take with this, I think, it's a model I nearly always take anyway, for Neverborn, is the Doppelganger.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is not because it can interact freely, because anyone can do the interact, but because I can cheat initiative. Getting initiative first and getting that model that's surrounded by enemies and going, haha, I've gathered intel first. Yeah. Screw you guys.
Do you know who else is very good? Lilitu.
Yeah.
Because you perform a 1 interact action on a model they are engaged with.
4-inch.
And she's got a 4-inch engagement. So she can walk up and go, boop, and then walk away without ever getting close enough for them to retaliate.
Yeah. Ulix has a 4-inch engagement as well, which I didn't realise until the other day.
Yeah. 4-inch cast range on the attack. So
doesn't that increase his engagement range for the action? Because that won't count.
Oh, yeah, because he's not engaged with it.
I don't. Yeah, if he can attack at extended ranges, that's fine. But he's not engaging them if it's a bonus during the action. It's the standard melee range.
It's a standard.
Oh, you just got a standard.
He has claws 4.
Well, he's cast 4, but it's
cast 4 with claws.
It has the claw symbol.
Yeah.
Let's look it up because we can edit for shininess rather than sounding like we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, we'll start again. Another one that's good is
if
need be right.
Gremlins.
Is it on one of his upgrades?
No, it's a standard attack.
What, slop him up? Yeah, range 4.
Yeah.
Jesus.
4 melee. So yeah.
Wow. Cool. So yeah, he's really good for that.
Yeah. Which is why I had that advantage.
Conversation we had when I was playing. Let's assume Aaron and I are playing a game. I hope you lose horribly. At the end of turn 2, we've both got 2 models with gather intel. What happened?
Well, we spent 10 minutes looking on our phones trying to figure out what happens during a draw.
Really?
Well, there's
a full stop in an awkward place, and it can be read in different ways.
So we figured that if both crews have got the same amount of models with gathered intel on, that you've got a draw, so nobody scores it, so nothing gets removed. So they stay with the intel because of where the full stop is.
Because it says at the end of every turn after the first, if
a crew
has models, then it earns victory points. Then remove the gathered intel condition from every model in play.
So if somebody's scoring, then remove.
No. At the end of every turn after the first, if a crew has more models in play with the gathered intel commission than the opposing crew, it gains a victory point. Full stop. Then, after checking that, you remove it. So it goes away at the end of every turn regardless of if it's scored, but you only score if you have more. So a draw will get no points, but the gathered information will still go away.
I've just been doing a bit of research on the internet, and I can't find... It's maybe just us overthinking.
It has popped up, and as far as I'm aware, that is the intention is... And the way it's formatted, because of the full stop, which separates the two things from happening, is generally the way these templating things go. So because there is a full stop, it makes that the removal separate from the scoring.
So I think this one's shit because we can't agree on how it works.
No, the only if in there is whether or not you get a victory point.
The issue is it's debatable.
Yeah. See, in the tournament, I played it the way that we did it, and we played it that way.
Yeah,
as well,
no, that's
Aaron.
fair.
So.
That wouldn't be my interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, these will get adjusted, and erratas and FAQs and stuff will come out to say it. I would be surprised if it works that way, personally, just because I think their intention is to make it exciting every round. And I think you lose that excitement if things carry over.
See, I didn't feel that we were losing the excitement. I felt it added to it because you were having to think about different models to the ones that are already in that kind of scenario.
Well, you think about different things, but the excitement is I need to get initiative so I can get that condition.
Yeah.
In my mind, they've gathered some intelligence.
Yeah.
Does that go away? When you score the point, are you like sending it back to someone? You're releasing a pigeon up. With,
but surely you're doing that anyway. Because you don't go, I'm not going to give my information back because they've got some too.
Yeah, no, actually, that makes more sense.
Equally, yeah.
Each turn you are going, fuck, get the information out, get the information out, get the information out. You're not gaining an advantage if you're doing it equally, but you are still getting rid of it.
Yeah.
From a thematic point of view.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. So the next one is hours. You divide the table into 4 18 by 18 table quarters.
With a score.
Yeah, you straight away cut your table up, you move them into separate rooms.
Yeah.
So even if you're playing flank deployment or corner deployment, you do not divide the thing by corner to
table
corner.
Quarters are always horizontal vertical.
Yeah.
Right.
That is
which I haven't always realised in some of my games.
Same.
That is how you do table quarters. Now, the only thing that changes based on your deployment is the centre line.
Yeah.
Because that will depend on where you are deploying. But the quarters are the quarters that they are.
Cool. Well, that makes that a lot easier.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Or I'm technically over this slight bit, so randomly this corner.
Oh, but actually it's this way now, not that. Yeah, bollocks to all that. You can happily set your terrain up with that in mind for a tournament. Yeah. And not have to go, if the deployment's that, then it's bugged about, and that bit of terrain's awkward. And all
that's
this.
something that has always annoyed me, and I think I've just been doing wrong for years.
Yeah, potentially.
Cool.
So, at the end of every turn after the first, add up the soulstone cost of all friendly non-peon models in each table quarter. And the important bit here, not counting any models that were summoned during the game.
Yeah.
Or summoned this game. If you summoned them in a previous game but you bought them this game, they're okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it does specifically say summoned this game. It does, yeah. Just in case someone might try and argue that with you.
Game. Yeah.
Weird levels of pedantry coming into Malifaux tournaments.
So no time travelling models that have been summoned in different games and then made it onto your table.
Fine.
Yeah.
Cool. So models that aren't peons and weren't summoned, that are not within 6 of the centre of the table, so it's a 6-inch zone, a 12-inch circle in the middle of the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's a radius, not a diameter. The crew with the highest soulstone cost within each table quarter controls it.
Yeah.
And again, another big thing, for this strategy, masters and non-master models with a cost of 0 count as having a cost of 10.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second.
We will. So if a crew contains at least 2 table quarters, controls at least 2 table quarters, if you don't contain them within a crew, you gain a victory point. So this is one that both players can score.
Yeah. But you'd have to each have 2 quarters.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah, so never show you meet.
Yeah, and
you can meet.
But the temptation just to wander into their thing and fuck up their scoring because you want to win the game. Yeah.
The other thing I did miss out when reading through is that they can't be within other table quarters. So you have to wholly be within one. You can't be on the line.
You can't straddle the line.
You cannot. If you straddle, you are stricken from the scoring.
Don't hold the line.
Don't do that.
You just did a Nazi salute, mate.
The people couldn't see.
Shit. Sorry, Adolf. Carry on.
Right. So I like this.
It's fine. It's replaced Reconnoiter.
Yes.
Which it worked in a similar fashion, but it was number of models, not.
Yes. Yeah.
It was number of models, and you could. Which basically just meant people like Ramos that went, oh, look at me shitting out spiders.
Yeah, because summoned models counted.
Yes, they did.
I played it quite a lot of times when I was playing 10 Thunder, and it was like, I can't really do much with this.
It penalised the crap out of elite crews, which was rubbish.
And I mean, out activation was a big thing before.
Yeah.
So it's becoming less so. We talked a little bit about it in the
stuff like Hamlin, stuff like Ramos, Nicodem were just disgustingly good at those.
Yeah.
Whereas they're not now.
Yeah, I mean, if you looking at Hamlin, buying the 2 boxes to have a Hamlin crew, and getting 12 rats, and sometimes
and then
going, I haven't got enough rats.
Yeah,
it's disgraceful.
So that's really cool. So what models do we reckon are good at this?
Well, you had a really good thing I hadn't thought of, but you told me earlier, so I'll let you say it so you can get the glory.
So there is... I'll mention the one I mentioned, and then you can mention the one you realised after it.
Yes.
Jacob Lynch.
Yes. And I looked at you, I was like, what on earth are you talking about?
That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Right, it's really good in this.
Okay.
So... The way to win this scenario is to kill opposing models that was hired.
Yes.
Right? Jacob Lynch is shit hot at killing people.
Yeah, he's a good killing master.
But so are lots of people. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Now, the important bit is masters and non-master models with a cost of 0 count as 10.
Yeah, which confused me because I don't know many non-master models.
The Hungering Darkness counts as 0. Is a 0 cost model.
Because you get him for free when you hire a Lynch.
Right.
Yeah. So you've now got 20 points for nothing.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. With a master,
you've got an extra 10 points potentially on top of your opponent.
Yeah.
With a master that's good at murdering stuff.
Yeah.
So he's, as far as I can see, really fucking good at this.
Yeah.
The main other master that becomes really good at it, Brian, is...
Well, I'm just making sure I'm not...
No, you're not. You are correct.
I am correct.
You are correct.
Are you sure?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Because I'm genuinely worried.
Is she a master?
She has no cost.
Yeah, that's
brilliant.
it. Doesn't matter if anything else she's got on there.
Yeah.
She's not a peon.
She doesn't have a cost of 0. She has no cost.
No,
Okay.
she counts.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, as far as I am aware, because the internet went about this.
Well, I think based
Yeah,
on the way they've done their wording based on the last one, so it's masters, and then sort of it almost needs a full stop there, and non-masters with a model cost of 0. So they're like two separate.
Hungry Darkness doesn't have a cost, so it has no cost.
Unless, I mean, don't get me wrong, those two might not count, and they might have turned around and decided that they don't count, and then this goes out the window. But as it stands, as to my understanding,
well, I'm trying to think of other models that have a cost of 0.
Just
like
those, pretty much just
those. So the Victorias, because you hire Victoria of Ashes and you get Victoria of Blood as well, who cost 0, and therefore it's again another 10. And they're really good at killing people as well.
Yeah. Yes.
In fact, I think the Victorias are really, really good with their new upgrade that allows one of them to bury and then pop out. Just don't do it in the first turn because then you're cheating. Sorry, Colin.
That's actually amazing because you
pop her out where she's needed.
And they unbury at the end of the turn?
No, she unburies for a 0 action from any sister model.
Ah, okay.
Including if you deputise someone and go, "You're my sister now, we've adopted you," and then they gain the 0. And can
brief adoption. Odd paperwork.
You adopt them for a turn.
You are mine for half an hour.
Now you've grown up. 60 seconds later.
How long's a turn?
A turn is an abstract unit of time.
Well, it really is, because a turn might be I ran over there. A turn might be I summoned 3 zombies. I don't know how quickly zombies get up. They're quite slow creatures. Nicotine makes them a bit quicker.
I mean, Tara gets to activate 7, maybe 8 times during a turn.
But she's magic and made of the void.
Yeah.
So she phases in and out, so she's not really existing at this time.
If she goes first, she gets reactivated.
Yeah.
Like, it's mad.
Yeah. I got played against Chris when he was using that. Yeah.
I also think it's mad that you can put 12 points worth of upgrades on her and be happy.
Yeah.
Like,
so
8 points, sorry.
So yeah, I think they're great masters to take with this. Anything you're thinking, Aaron? Because we've kind of advanced some theories.
Well, not based on that.
From your factions, who would you want to be taking?
Not 10 Thunders because the models are too expensive.
Yeah, even with the reduced.
No, actually, but expensive models is fine because you count as a lot of points. It's based on points, not number now.
Which could work out because you could have one in each corner that costs more.
Fairly elite things,
I think it maybe potentially favours ranged crews. The last one seems to favour melee crews. This might favour ranged crews.
I, for example,
because you can sit in your quarters and shoot things.
Would want to be taking Rasputina.
Yeah.
Because she's killy and can take some expensive stuff, and that's all pretty good. Reza-wise, I got beaten in this scenario using Rasputina by Molly, but that's because I cocked up and put Rasputina on the line and lost points for that, and it was a very close game. So, like,
things that are quick but still kind of survivable that you can hide. So I'd quite like Neverborn. I might add a few Insidious Madnesses in.
Yeah.
Use the Incorporeal to get myself behind some blocking terrain and be like, I'm in your table quarter, fucking up your shit.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that's really bad at this? Is the Dreamer awful at this? Because he buries and summons Chompy.
Yes.
Right. So
you
that
can't hire Chompy. Chompy is summoned.
Yeah. So Chompy doesn't count for anything ever, and the Dreamer buries and fucks off and leaves you 10 points less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, you're completely right. That would be
so
rubbish.
I think the Dreamer is crap at this.
Because, and also, I mean, the Dreamer's thing is summoning.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to take the Dreamer.
No. Whereas actually, I don't think summoners lose out in this. I just think they don't get an advantage. Because if you can summon, like you look at Sandeep. Well, Sandeep's king of everything anyway. But you go, haha, I summon a Gamin and I summon a Banasuva and throw it at your face.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's the same with...
You're killing stuff, hopefully, that was bought with something that wasn't. So you're gaining an advantage if you can do good things with your summon models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not that summoners are bad, but they're not stupidly OP in this.
Yeah. A bit more balanced.
Whereas things like Lynch and Victoria might be a little bit, but...
It's only 2 models.
Do you know what? I'm okay with certain people being good at certain strategies. Like,
I think that's part of the variety of the game.
Dreamers crap at it, they're good at it.
Well, generally you're declaring a faction as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're not, I'm a Dreamer player and now I can't play my game anymore. It's like, well, no, you're a Neverborn player.
Yeah.
So swap
use Lynch.
Actually, well, that's...
Rezzers wise, I'm thinking maybe Seamus could be quite good because of his teleporting shenanigans.
Yeah.
To jump off and grab something at the end,
Yeah, so he can move around from different table quarters.
Tara the same, because if she activates again at the end and goes, I'm going to run over here, or goes, hey look, I brought a Killjoy with me, and at the end of the turn I'm going to unbury it here, now I've got 22 points in this quarter.
Yeah, that threat of where are you going to bury to claim your quarters is quite good, and generally what she's burying is good kitty
running
stuff.
up to something and burying it and going, you're not going to count now.
You've taken a 13-point model.
Nope.
Get in the sack.
Get in the void.
Get in the void. Get in the sack is different. Used to be my chat up line back in the day.
Yeah, but in which case,
I used to seduce Hessian women. Sorry.
Surely that's become the sack.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Climbing in them.
You know when you have to say something because otherwise you'll explode?
No.
Yeah, I have that problem. Sorry, Aaron, you were...
yeah, so grabbing models, Zip might be quite useful because...
Quick.
Yeah, quick.
He's quite zippy.
Around. Yeah.
Ow, bungo.
As would...
Sorry.
You should totally paint a teddy up as Bungle.
Oh, fuck, yes!
You need to do Rainbow, the Dreamer crew.
Yeah.
But anyway, right. Well, Brian
any of the
entertains himself.
Yeah. The large pigs, because you can give them saddle as an upgrade, which allows them to drag other models along with them, so you can bring quite a tough models with a smaller model.
Did we have...
So I'm feeling sorry for the people on the internet that couldn't see you miming large pigs.
With
it was significantly large. I mean,
yeah, you were definitely showing some heft, and then you were kind of rocking the pig side
it was
to
the
side.
rock with it.
Well, I mean, they're quite girthy, so they have
thick. Thick. We have a word.
No, they're bacon, so it's girth.
Yeah, I'm thinking again for Rezzers. Did we ever decide how to pronounce Kentoroy?
Kentori?
Kentori sounds like a sushi recipe, anyway.
Yes. They're again very very nippy, very quick, and they can drag other models with them.
They're also worth 8, so they're quite significant in their price.
Yeah, but dragging and almost like dragging a model and then moving away and having models on opposite sides of the thing, activating them later on and kind of nicking quarters and contesting things, going. Or especially if you're summoning, actually this is where summoning might be useful, because if you can out activate your opponent, you can go, right, they've got 14 points there, 10 points there, and 11
now
points there.
I can decide where to put my
significant models go here and here, and suddenly I've put 15 there, 12 there, and I've stolen and I'm getting the victory point.
So yeah, summoners are still good for the reason summoners are good.
Yeah.
But
not
they're a
as
bit more
effective.
balanced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, is it Brian's turn?
It's Aaron's turn.
Aaron, did you do the first one?
I did do the first one. I lead by example and also just habit.
So we're on to symbols of authority. Leave behind the symbols that will be remembered for years to come. So before either player deploys models... No?
You're not my supervisor.
Well, you got to listen to these rules. Go over it. So before either player deploys models, starting with the second player, each player places 3 50mm height 5 blocking, impassable, hard cover strategy markers fully on their side of the table but not in their deployment zone, and at least 10 inches from another strategy marker on their side of the table. These markers can't...
That's a mouthful, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah. So can't be in contact with impassable terrain.
Yeah.
And then on any turn after the first, non-peon models may take a 1 interact action to target the strategy marker within 1 inches on their opponent's side of the board to remove it from play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is one where you get a victory point at the end of the turn if you removed one. You can remove more than one.
Yes,
but you only score once. You would have to wait to the next turn to be most effective.
And then at the end of the game, a crew earns 1 victory point if they have any strategy markers on their side of the table.
So to get the full 4,
you have to remove all 3 of the enemies and have one of yours left.
Yes.
So while you can both score 3 each from this, you can't get 4 each.
Yeah.
So again, it's that imperfect scoring which I like.
And it will be 4-2 is the biggest switch. You can't be 4-3 because they haven't scored 3 because then you wouldn't have any left.
Yeah.
This is my favourite one.
Yes.
I really like this one.
But there is an issue with it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Not in gameplay.
Okay.
Like on the table, I've not played this yet, and I think I'm torn. I love this. I think it's wonderful. But there is one later, the last one, that I think is also a bit wonderful, even though the internet hates it.
I don't like the one you're talking about.
I think it's cool. So the problem is, for a tournament, if you you either have to take all your players, bring 3 50mm markers to use, or provide 6 per table. That is a significant number of 50mm markers. Now, if you're wanting to produce them as well, you kind of want these markers to be fairly weighty, because you don't want them moving about.
Yeah, and you probably want them to have a bit of height on them, because otherwise you'd forget that they're not like a scheme marker.
We've done it so many times
paper.
on the Stash.
Yeah,
trying to shoot and go, hi, shoot. Oh, I couldn't have done that, could I? Oh, bugger, right, yeah. Unless your hands.
Hands can shoot through these.
Yeah.
Hands, the model, not hands, the appendages that people tend to have.
Yeah, I only shoot with my feet. So yeah, it's interesting. I really like it. It just is quite marker intensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But there's a nice back and forth to you. You're not only having to be on the attack, but you need to be able to defend yourself at the same time.
That's what I really like about it. You've got multiple things you're doing.
Your front is going to be constantly
a lot
moving.
of thinking, and it changes. I feel it's one of the ones that changes your crew. You're not going to just take the same old.
So who's good and who's bad at this?
Summoners are really good at this.
Yes, they are.
Because you can summon stuff and cover lots of the table.
Yeah.
I'll destroy this. You guys.
I'm going to use my crew to defend while my summoned things run over and harass them.
You just bomb a load of nightmares out or a load of dead things or whatever it is you're summoning.
Cool. So is anyone particularly bad at it?
The smaller and more elite your crew,
the
worse it is, and the slower you are.
Yeah,
because they can be quite far away.
I wouldn't want to take Rasputina into this.
No,
she is slow. A lot of her things are kind of slow. Well, actually, no.
Your ice dancers
are fast.
Yeah,
but you kill your ice dancers, you've lost your arc nodes, and you've lost your people that are going to go do the thing. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't run her into it.
No,
but anyone that's fast, anyone with stuff like leap
or from the shadows.
From the shadows.
So, that's really.
But you need to survive.
Do it in the first turn. You need to survive. But they do provide cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you hide behind it.
Yeah.
You pick the one that they have.
So, or maybe you do take Rasputina and you take the December Acolytes and From the Shadows over to it.
Potentially.
And use Rasputina to shoot through them to get rid of everyone else.
Yeah. I love the idea of
handing out. Oh, they hand out slow as well.
Yeah.
That could be good.
I love the idea of having, say, a trapper who Frycore.
Yeah.
Starting behind. Is it a trapper?
The tapper, I think.
No.
It is a trapper.
Well, yeah, we mentioned in the last episode they've gone up a point now, so yeah.
It is a trapper, isn't it? Yeah. So I like the idea of using a Frycore trapper, putting him behind the thing, and in the first turn, he's kind of nice and safe because he's behind loads of cover, and then he removes the cover and starts sniping the enemy crew.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
No, it's not.
I think defensively, anything that's got a nice big engagement range that can sit in the way.
Yes.
So it can stop you getting around the behind, because as soon as you engage them, that could be quite useful as well.
Anything that can stop interact actions?
Yeah.
Push. Any models with push mechanics on. You can push your models forward or push them away.
Yeah, getting that extra range or denying stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found, because I played this against Colin, and I managed to get I tabled him in like turn 3, and then I literally just couldn't reach one of them because my crew wasn't fast enough to do it. So
speed is almost of the essence of this.
Yes. Yeah.
See, now the interesting thing is as well, as much as this strategy changes your crew, I think your crew changes how you play the strategy. Massively, because you can play an elite crew into this. Now, so the problem with an elite crew is it's hard to cover that much table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you do is you put your 3 on the fucking centre line and just fucking run at them. And go, do you know what? I'm going to get there fast. I'm going to deny you getting to mine because my stuff's hard and will batter yours.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill a few of yours.
The fight is taking place further up the
your no man's land front line is massively further up.
Yeah.
Which then gives you a lot more chance to then just nip forward and poke their markers to get rid of them. So
there's potential.
There is. Well, it's the fact of going elite crews are bad. No, but you have to play very differently.
Yeah.
Whereas most crews, you'd put your markers quite far back to have them come through you.
But they still struggle with potentially being out activated and things like that.
Oh, without activation, yeah,
if
sure.
You've got a crew that could be overspread around.
But that's true of any elite crew in any scenario. So it's not specific to this.
No.
It's an interesting way you can play.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think it's wonderful. Like this one because it's both kind of a defensive and an offensive game.
I think it's probably the best one. Yeah. For just general enjoyment, I think it is wonderful.
It's really fun. Yeah. So back to me for public executions. Make them bleed and watch the look of horror on your enemy's face. On any turn after the first, whenever a non-peon model kills or sacrifices a non-peon model it considers an enemy, it gains the following condition until the end of the game. Shed blood. At the end of the model's activation, remove this condition if no enemy models have line of sight to this model. This condition cannot be gained in any way other than is stated in this strategy. So you cannot use Leilu and Naliti to gain it and then pass it on to the other one, which is
Collodi that does the same thing, passing to his puppets.
Yes, so you can only do it by killing a thing and getting it yourself. So the idea is, you cut off your enemy's head and you wave it at them, and you're kind of publicly displaying your bloodshed. And this is another one. You have to have more models in play with shed blood than the opposing crew in order to score. So it's another one that isn't going to be
and it's got the
for all.
It is, and it's also got the same thing in as the apply for information that then remove the shed blood model from everything in play.
Yeah.
See, this again is where it's odd.
I think genuinely because now I've thought about this.
Yeah.
At the end of the first turn,
yeah,
here's a thing that might happen. Then do this. I think is how it's intended.
Yeah.
I think if they wanted it to stick around, it would be a comma because it would be part of the same thing. The full stop makes it a separate thing. I think we've been playing it wrong.
No, like I said, that's the way I
People
interpret
out there
it.
in the world of
top
YouTube,
tier Malifaux
SoundCloud,
competitiveness as well.
Wherever we shared this, let us know if we're doing it wrong. But I think now I've thought.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as long as everyone's playing the same way. It's not the
if at the beginning of the game you discuss it, to be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as you both know the way it's working.
What happened in both my games is we discussed it at the end of the second term when we had a draw and decided.
So you go, okay, so how are we playing this? Yeah. Now, if I was in a tournament, I would straight away go, how are we doing this?
Yeah.
Because it makes a big difference in how you play the next turn. But as long as you're in agreement and you're playing an equal game because of it, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So this is another one that this favours again fighting, killing the enemy models, but it doesn't have to be melee.
No.
So you can shoot someone and gain the condition.
But they're more at risk of going out of line of sight
because you're further away.
Now you see, because this is the first one we played at our tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first scenario. And now I was playing Rasputina, so I was murdering stuff at range. So I was basically going, right, that one bloke right at the back over there can see Rasputina, so I can now channel my shot through the guy over there around the corner into Jeff, murder the shit out of Jeff, but he could see me do the thing, so I got the token for it.
Yeah. It's only until the end of your activation, so as long as somebody can see you when your turn ends...
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they move off by the end of the turn.
Or somebody else puts something in front of you afterwards.
Yes. And this is one of the interesting... Now, this is something that came was an interesting one for me, because Rasputina especially, being able to create terrain with her ice markers, you kind of go, cool, you can do that, but make sure you're not dropping your line of sights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the idea of it is it creates risk-reward.
Yeah.
I need to take a risk in still being seen at the end of my activation and killing this. So something like a lot of the 10 Thunders, which is hit and run tactics, you can't go murder and then hide because you're not going to get the bonus.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Again, I like the way it makes you think about how you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the least interesting one I've seen so far. It's okay.
Well, it's the least new and it's the least exciting, but it's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
The lack of being interesting, air quotes, isn't because it's crap or I don't want to play it.
No. It's
at all. It's a solid standard strategy.
Yeah. So you want models that can kill and models that are survivable.
Yeah,
that's what you want to be taking.
Range is good.
Yeah,
I think in this specifically,
killing them before they get to you. Yeah,
while still being visible.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I did this with Witchling Thrall, so I would charge in with the Thrall, kill something because they're really beaty, and like pick blocks of enemies, so 2 enemies together.
Yeah.
And then go, cool, the guy next to me can see me. Yeah, he hasn't activated yet, but I can really take a punch, so I don't care. Anything that can do that, anything that heals itself will be really, really useful. And yeah, I think Masters what murder stuff.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be taking Titania for this, for instance.
Yeah. This is probably one of the ones where an elite crew might have the advantage because
you're less likely to die.
Yeah, they're less likely to die and more likely to kill something and to kill more things than the other person. Yeah, because they'll have more options. So
yeah, you're more likely to be killing things each turn than they are. Yeah. So no, I very much agree. Anything that was good in chopping off heads and collecting them. Before it would be.
I had to. I'm really glad that that's gone. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
because you then pick up your own head.
Stupid.
Your own side's head and go, oh, we'll get some money for Jeff.
Yeah, no, I didn't like it either. I didn't like it at all.
Head.
This is a much better version of the same.
This is the same thing, isn't it? Really, it's the killy one.
Yes, but
that was kill confirmed from Call of Duty,
and nobody fucking likes that.
No.
Okay, so
the last one. This is one I really like.
It's only so the others have a roughly just under 25% chance of coming out.
This only comes up on a joker.
So it's a 1 in 26 chance.
Yeah. So supply wagon.
27.
Supply wagons. Who doesn't love a good escort mission?
Take the mission off.
Anti-sex work campaigners.
And anyone that's played an MMO. So before either player deploys models, starting with the second player.
Yep.
Interesting.
So again,
each player places 150mm, height 3, blocking, impassable, hardcover, friendly supply wagon marker on their side of the table, anywhere completely in their deployment zone and not in terrain.
Yep.
So that is your setup. You put down a wagon.
Yep.
So any non-peon models in base contact with the supply wagon may take a 1 interact action to push the marker in any direction, ignoring intervening models.
Yep.
If this marker would come into base contact with impassable terrain, it stops in contact. If that terrain was a terrain marker, remove that marker, then continue the push as normal. So these supply wagons can smash through ice walls.
They can destroy a lot of the stuff that the resurrectionists can put in place. That's horrible, tentacly doom stuff.
Yep.
They are
flame walls.
Are not impassable.
Oh, they're not.
No, so it'll go through. It'll go through a flame wall. It'll go through a smoke wall.
Oh, my Cyclops is a rubbish.
It'll go through a fair few other things. Basically, Cyclopses and Rasputina suffer from this.
Yeah.
So you just don't take that upgrade, or possibly don't take Cyclops.
Yes.
So you can take this one interact action that pushes it. Now, the distance it goes depends on the size of the model pushing it. Interestingly, it's nothing to do with height, it's all to do with base size. So a 30 mil pushes you up to 2 inches. 40 is up to 3, and 50 is up to 4. So at the end of every turn after the first, a crew earns 1 VP if they have a friendly supply wagon at least partially on their opponent's side of the board.
Yeah.
So you can gain.
It can be a draw.
Perfect. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, and I think it's quite exciting.
Yeah. Now, what I was just thinking here, it's standard deployment, which is what you're going to be playing most of the time, is 6 inches. Centre line of the board is 18 inches away. So you need to move it 12.1 inches
in 2 turns.
So 6 inches a turn. And then you obviously need the models to do so.
Yeah.
So anything that can... The models that used to score like claim jump that can interact, move again, and interact again. So it can move, push, interact, push, interact, or can do interacts for 0. For instance, those sorts of things are very good. I immediately thought of Witchling Thralls here because they have a 40mm base. They can push it. They can then, if you've got a model positioned correctly, they can use their chain to pull themselves forwards and push it again. So you've got 6 inches.
Do you know who's
quite good?
Do you know who's stunning at this?
Who?
Lucius.
Because he can make his models.
You make an action. You make an action.
Yeah.
So Witchling Thralls that are on fairly big bases just pump the wagon up the board.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think maybe people don't take into consideration.
Yep.
Do you run up to the opponent's wagon and push it back?
Yeah.
So you have this kind of weird tug of war where you're going, I push mine and I'm trying to get yours to go away.
My initial concern with this one was you're going to end up with, I march mine down one side of the board, you march yours down the other side of the board, we get a certain number of points and then kind of occasionally shoot at each other. Stuff with blast seems quite good because you're going to have quite a lot of models near it.
Maybe. I think you're going to have a string of models in its wake.
Potentially,
have kicked it and then gone, but I didn't move with it.
Yeah.
So you set up a line of models and you go boom, poke, and have it shoved up the board.
But yeah, turning around and shoving it back.
I think it's cool. Again, anything that stops interacts, chatty. You can't make interact actions. Like throwing that near their wagon and going, hi, what are you doing? Are you not? No, you don't need pushing that. And just chatting. Whatever. It's brilliant. Like
against stuff with big melee ranges. To go run over and tie up lots of their models and be like, no, you can't move it.
I mean, the ideal thing is you run over someone that stops interacts and then have one of your guys go up and go, it doesn't stop mine, and push it through their models back onto their half of the board. Like, I think there's a lot you can do with this. It can be very boring and you can just, like you said, shove it up.
Depending on schemes, you can end up with 2 mini little fights going on and all sorts of hilarity, or you could end up with people running past you. Because it doesn't necessarily force interaction.
If you were doing this in a tournament, I think that you need to make your scheme pool force the interaction because the strategy doesn't. In a standard game, like if we're generating, you could generate a complete scenario where you didn't even have to look at an enemy model. Where you just go, okay, well, we're going to do this, and we'll then both take this, and we'll both take this, and we'll just push our wagons all day.
We would just generally tend to press a button and flip it.
Yeah, we'd just go, that looks crap. No, we'll do this game because we want a fun game.
So a tournament organiser would have to take that into consideration.
Yes, I think so. But if you're a good TO, you should be doing that anyway. Like,
but then again, do you want a 10-all draw? That's not good for you.
No.
So if, when you're taking into account victory points and similar, then so it could happen, but you want to stop them. So.
I think that in itself is kind of going, no, you want to be getting in their way and denying it.
It's another one that favours models that move from the shadows. Because you can kind of do a bit of pre-measuring and be like, cool, I can punt it to this one, then this one can punt it and go that way and do that kind of thing. So that's useful.
Summoners are good because you get more activations, and more activations are good because you can push it further.
Models again that have got push mechanics on, so they can shove one model across the table to the other
thing. Leap. You go, I push it, I leap, I push it again. Marcus, you take 2 Saber-Tooth Cerberus and you go shove 4 inches, leap, shove for 4 inches.
Yeah. And models with big bases.
Yes.
Which is never something we've said is a good thing in Malifaux before, really. It's not something that's come up, but this then does it. Masters with big bases, like Reaver has a big base, and the other horse master.
Tiny pony to kick the wagon.
Yes. Well, she's dragging a wagon.
Well, no, she doesn't go with
Wagon dragon. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
You are literally booting it up the table.
Yeah. And McCabe.
Yes.
Got there eventually. He has a horse.
Yeah.
Is quite good. But you might want to be taking some thralls with bigger bases, or taking a larger base models tend to be more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you're then weighing up the cost versus various other things.
So pig armies are going to have quite a good time with it.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, because you've got lots of 40s and some 50s.
Yeah, you get a lot of them on 50
Yeah,
mils.
the big pigs are 50s.
And you can summon war pigs in, which...
Yeah, it's always good. Sandeep will have fun with this, because you summon Banasuva, who's on a big base, and can perform interact actions while engaged on him, and just go, I push wagons.
Yeah.
I have my massive, my Fire Lord that pushes the cart.
This is one of the
I've been relegated.
I really like the symbols of authority, but it doesn't make me want to make my own markers.
Yeah.
This makes me want to make a little wagon.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a really cool Guild Ball model, which is a turtle, like a giant turtle, with a box of treasure on its back, which is that Mason's?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. And I just want to buy that and just put it on a 50mm base. And then have that be my little wagon, because it's a little turtle. It doesn't move very quickly. So you have to give it a boot up the arse to get it moving.
In my head, what's happened is as you run over to it, you've jumped on it, Mario style, and then you've kicked it along, and it's gone woo, and then stopped again.
Do it upside down.
So no, I think there's a lot of cool things you could do with the markers.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of cool things you can do with the points of authority markers as well, and I'd quite happily make myself some of those. Whether you make generic ones, so you only need to make 3, or you make faction specific ones. Yeah. I saw someone earlier that basically made what looked like a well.
Yeah.
A 50mm bricked cylinder, and then on top had a flag.
Yeah.
And you could have different flags for each faction.
Yeah, nice.
Which is kind of a cool idea.
I'd quite like, for my guild, I'd like to have some hanging criminals.
Yeah,
and be like, these are we have killed, and they're trying to pull them down.
Yeah.
Or even prisoners, so they come over and they rescue the prisoner.
Yes,
that could be quite
a cool thing.
Just as a cool little visual thing.
I think there's so many really cool thematic stuff you could do with it.
Yeah, which lacking previously a little bit. I mean, they've thematically been interesting.
You could have made head markers by actually gluing some heads on some bases, and
yes, naff. I think these are cool.
It's really visually engaging.
Only thing that might be irritating is in a year's time that might go away and you never use them again. So, cool. So that they are the strategies for 2018, and I think they're all kind of good.
There's none there that make me go, "Oh, that's crap."
Whereas we have always had that before.
There's always been one that you don't want.
Yeah, it's like regenerate.
Mostly Headhunter.
Yeah.
Because fucking markers everywhere and it's just a ball ache. But yeah, there are none of these that I'd be going, oh, I don't want to play that one.
Yeah.
So then we move on to the paired schemes sometime in the future, because we made a massive mistake.
Whoopsie doodle.
And didn't quite understand how the schemes work. That's a really weird thing to say, Aaron.
I don't know. It's several days later. I'm more tired. So shut up.
Yes, you have slept since then, right?
Technically.
Not enough.
So we're going to talk about the paired schemes, and what we didn't realise is how that actually worked. Maybe other people were confused. Probably not. Maybe we're just idiots. Probably. So the paired schemes, they replace claim jump or line in the sand as the always on option. Instead, your paired scheme is the same suit as the strategy. So the first one is rams, and will be paired with the rammed
apply for
strategy,
information,
which is apply for information. Well remembered, because I had to actually click a button and you didn't. So Aaron, off you go, and we'll talk about these and how they interact with the strategy. This is kind of a new thing, isn't it? So you've always got one of the same schemes with the strategy.
So we've got surround them, attack your enemy from all sides. This scheme may not start revealed, which is a theme still. At the end of the game, this crew earns 1 victory point if it has a scheme marker within 6 inches of a table corner in the enemy's crew's deployment zone. My screen timed out. At the end of the game, the crew earns 1 victory point for each other table corner with a friendly scheme marker within 6 inches, up to a maximum of 2 victory points. Only 1 table corner within this crew's deployment zone may count towards this scheme.
It seems like an odd one to pair with Ply for Information. Because Ply for Information requires you to get close and touch each other, and this requires you to run off the table corners.
So I suppose to encourage you not to just do that.
Potentially, it means if you've got a nice couple of scheme runners, they can run off and do some other things without being Ply for Information targets.
Yes.
Or you could contest the table corners and have like a weird kind of intel off in the corners of the board, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it seems odd, but
yeah,
you know, it is what it is.
I suppose to give that. I mean, before like Line in the Sand and stuff was there, so scheme runners had something to do because not every strategy was focused on doing scheme running stuff. So it's to make sure crews have always got an option of doing something schemy when they've got something more. I mean, I know Apply for Information is quite schemy as well, but it is involved in combat more than normal scheme markery bullshit.
I suppose the thing to ask is, does the synergy with the strategy make it an auto include? Are you going to always take the 2 together? I'm not.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
I can see situations where I would.
Yeah.
Depending on like what crew and stuff are going on with the gremlins particularly, because I've got loads of them, then I probably would because I can afford to do that.
You have spares to
Go
send
to
off.
yeah.
Or if you've got particularly good fast runners,
Yeah.
that you can start in one of your deployment corners, like an ice dancer,
Yeah.
drop a scheme marker, and then just fuck off up the board to that corner, drop a scheme marker, and then bugger off to the one in the corner.
Yeah.
If you're playing,
and you don't think they're going to be able to spare enough to stop you, that's the key. If you think you're going to be able to do that unopposed, and you're okay being down however many points you're putting into doing it, it's a really good one to take.
It works nicely in corner deployments.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Because you're, especially if you're taking something like from the shadows, because you can actually deploy right in the corner with a model,
if
like a Kruligan or a Trapper or
not
hands.
No,
I cheated the other day. Just assumed he had it.
But yeah, so if you can deploy things in the corners and drop scheme markers straight away, then you're part of the way there. So one of the things we discussed on the past version where we were wrong was, do you have to score the first bit to get access to the second? So at the end of the game, this crew earns 1 victory point if it has a scheme marker within 6 of the deployment zone. And then at the end of the game, this crew earns 1 victory point for each other table quarter with a friendly scheme marker. Now, for each other, do they only become other when you've got one in the enemy thing? Do you need to score the first bit to access the second?
No, I don't think so, because it's a separate paragraph and it has at the end of the game again.
Yeah.
I think that the language would be much clearer if it was your original thought.
Or a bit
this crew earns 1 additional VP for
each other one,
and that's it. And that's where a lot of them are written, and which is why we would say no, they're separate. If you're in corner deployment, you can, from the shadows, those corners, run into the middle. As long as no one takes them away, you've got yourself 2 victory points.
And at this point in the podcast, we've already discussed
a lot of the
some of the bits that are trickier. And then we will, in the future of this podcast, talk about it. And there's some issues with some of the language in these, which makes my brain hurt. And I wish they were a bit clearer.
It would be nice if they were a bit clearer, and I do think it's something that will get sorted. I don't think it's going to sit there being ambiguous for ages. Or, even if it does, it's really not the end of the world, because you turn around to the person you're playing against and go, how are we playing this? Or you turn around to your tournament organiser and go, how's this working?
Yeah.
Job done.
And again, the consistency would be nice. So if you're playing a local tournament and then it goes to a national one, you're playing it differently. I can't imagine making that much of a difference, but enough to throw you maybe for a game. But
the time it's bad is when one person is playing to one version of the rules, one person is playing to another version of the rules without having asked, and then at the end it's like, well, I got 2 victory points, I win. Well, no, you don't get them because you didn't do that thing.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it would be much better if there was some way of knowing the rules in advance, perhaps just by reading them off of where they're printed.
But not every single thing has.
The world's not
rules.
perfect.
No.
Life is hard.
And at the same, this is still a step up from anything WizKids have ever made, where 3 cards have the same effect but are all written differently.
Yeah.
Cool. So moving on to the next one, which is Guarded Treasure. Now this is paired with 2 strategies.
Hours and supply wagons.
Yes, brilliant. Well done. I needlessly looked at my phone. Cool. So what's better than guarding a big fat stack of loot? Spending the loot and rubbing the resulting prostitutes on your face.
Pro tip from the Critical Twits. This is how to spend loot.
Can buy other stuff with loot? What's going on? Okay, so this scheme may not start revealed. Reveal this scheme once you've scored a victory point. At the end of every turn after the first, the crew earns 1 VUP if it has at least 2 scheme markers within 2 inches of the centre line, at least 8 inches apart, and each has at least 1 friendly, non-peon, non-minion model within 3 inches. After scoring, remove all friendly scheme markers within 2 inches of the centre line. That's all right. Fairly easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's having one model that's not a minion next to it that was, if I remember from our past discussion, was the interesting part of
at least one friendly non-minion model within 3.
So you can only score this
with
interestingly enough, any person that took that at the tournament was scoring it with minions that I played against, and I did it too. But because I completely missed that. I went non-peon and stopped reading that sentence.
That's nothing to do with like wording or anything like that. It's just because it's not what you expect.
No, not at all.
So this favours elite crews. Crews with lots of enforcers, henchmen, or multiple masters.
If you're going that big, maybe.
Or by that I mean
Lynch Victorious.
But they have henchmen, but they're free, so you get 2 models for the price of 1.
The ones that are really good in the strategy it's paired with.
Table
quarters.
Yep, so they're good in table
Funny
quarters.
that. Cool.
I feel this does is it kind of pushes you towards the centre rather than lurking at the back of your table corners and kind of doing it. It's encouraging you if you take it to get a little bit closer.
To get further up the board, it's not really pushing you towards the centre because you need to be 8 inches apart.
Yeah, but you need to be within 2 inches of the centre line.
Centre line
of the board is what I meant. Yeah, so you're coming closer together. With wagons, I mean, you're going to pass the centre line, so you can just drop someone off. Hopefully, unless you're shit. Yeah.
And you're probably going to be wanting to use like enforcers because they normally come on slightly larger bases and things. There's a large chunk. There's more.
Yes, there are more enforcers than there are minions on large bases.
So they're going to be there pushing that wagon. So I can do other things other than just pushing a wagon.
I quite like this when paired with certain other things that get you to drop scheme markers. Especially like those conditional scheme markers, like dig your graves, where you want to kill things near them, but if the thing doesn't die, then you can just use it for the other thing. So you're not.
That'd be really good with this one actually, because you're going to want to be using something that's fairly high powered anyway to do that.
Yeah,
so.
I've got points for that in the tournament.
It was good.
So it's fairly straightforward actually. It's probably the one that feels closest to line in the sand, or such, because you're getting close to the centre line and dropping little things down, leaving little treats,
and taking away all the markers near the centre line at the end of it, which I understand was Claim Jump was doing.
Getting rid of all the markers.
Well, all friendly markers anyway. Not going really opponents with this one, but
that
would be amazing. No things for you either. Cool. On to the next one.
On to the next one.
Punish the Weak. This is paired with Symbols of Authority, not Points of Authority, the Linkin Park song, sadly. So, Punish the Weak. May not start revealed because you don't do that anymore, and you reveal it once you score any victory points from it. So at the end of every turn after the first, if at least one enemy minion or peon model was killed by one of this crew's henchmen or master models, you earn a victory point. And at the end of every turn after the first, if the opposing crew has no minions or peon models in play outside of their own deployment zone, this crew earns a victory point. No more than one victory point may be earned from the scheme. So you can't kill a minion and at the end of the turn go, haha, I get an extra victory point because you've got none left.
Yeah.
But what it does do is really encourages murdering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interestingly paired with symbols of authority, where you're going to be running into the other player's half of the board and doing stuff.
But also holding your own.
Yeah, which is why you get the outside of their own deployment zone. Because you can't leave some minions in the back to defend hiding in the deployment zone.
Although your symbols of authority have to be outside.
They do, but
zone.
Your minions might be nearby it.
Yeah, and it just pushes everyone into the middle of the board, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's a very simple one.
Yeah. Favours killy crews.
Yeah.
Stuff that's going to murder stuff.
It's quite good because you can just take a minion or a peon that's cheap and hide it just outside your deployment zone.
Yeah.
Something like a Malifaux Raptor that can just like fuck off and appear on the other side of the board.
Yeah.
Like little things like that.
Yeah.
But
a Kruligan that you stick behind some terrain.
Yeah.
It just kind of holds itself and cries. Or maybe it's they're dropping scheme markers for other things you've taken.
This is it.
That's always...
There's different ways of approaching this.
Yeah. I mean, I'd feel taking one minion or peon would be risky.
Yeah, because if they find a way to
kill
it, then it guarantees them the points unless you can keep it alive for quite a while. But it also massively denies them the points until they kill it.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
what we do is you play a summoning master and you only take the one minion.
Yeah.
And then if they kill it, you summon one more and then run it off into an awkward place.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of pissing around for 3 victory points potentially.
Yes. Yeah. But
hilarious.
If it turns up, it's a way of doing well in that scenario.
And then you find out they didn't take it anyway.
Well, when they kill your minion, they would reveal it because they'd score a victory point.
Yeah.
So if they've done that, then you'd be able to summon. Otherwise, you'd just go, oh, I won't bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or...
Well, it'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? Because you have that one minion sort of running around doing off nothing. And it could
if you've got one minion that sits over at the side and they don't care about it...
Yeah, it's probably safe to say.
It's, an assumption. But it's quite a good one. I like it. And I think it fits well with the strategy.
Yeah.
So the last one...
Yes, which is paired with...
What's the last one, Aaron?
I can't remember.
Rubbish. The last one is... Shed Blood is the thing you get from it. I can't remember the exact name of the strategy.
Public Execution.
That's the one.
Ha, mock me, you couldn't remember the name.
I remember the other 4.
Yeah,
I think I did all right, and I know what it is. I couldn't just the name.
You know, I have to put you down somewhere.
Like a rabid dog.
Small victories where I can take them.
It's like we're playing Malifaux, mate.
Yeah. Okay, so the last one is eliminate the leadership with the simple tagline of checkmate. Scheme not star revealed. Reveal once you score victory points. First time the enemy leader is reduced below half their starting wounds, this crew earns 1 victory point. First time the enemy leader is reduced to 0 wounds, killed or sacrificed, you earn 1 victory point. And if there's no enemy leader in play at the end of the game, you earn the final victory point.
Yes.
This one's tricky.
Yes, because
it's interestingly worded.
It's a hangover from last time. I don't think it's changed.
Yeah.
Since GG 2017, and it has really awkward wording because there's some really awkward Malifaux masters.
There are. There's a lot of very easy ways to not get 3 victory points from this.
Yeah.
If you paralyse their leader and then have someone eat it, you get 2 victory points. Well. You sacrifice them, so they're not reduced below half wounds.
No.
Yeah, so...
You miss out on that one.
Yeah.
So you have to damage them.
Yeah.
And then finish damaging them, and then make sure they're still not on the table. Now, a lot of the time, actually, that's not that hard, because most don't come back.
Yeah.
Beware of the Dreamer.
Yeah. because he
being
is
or not being on the table.
Buried, but yeah, he could not be on the table at the end.
Leviticus,
Yeah.
Who's notorious for being the reason this was worded how it is.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have
McCabe? McCabe has awkward stuff. So yeah, so there's masters that do wibbly wobbly things.
Yeah.
It pairs perfectly with Shed Blood. It's another killy thing to go with the killy thing that's already there. The model that's probably going to do most of your killing.
Yep.
Is probably going to pick a killy leader.
Yeah.
Killy being a word that's starting to sound less and less like a real word the more I say it.
Yeah.
It's like when you write the same thing over and over again and then you convince yourself it's spelt wrong and it just doesn't look right anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the word bowl.
Why are you putting that face? What's wrong with bowl?
Because it's got a weird couple of consonants together.
I don't know. I'm not one of the ones that's ever propped up in.
Is it not? It bugged me the other day.
How many times have you written bowl?
I sometimes just pick a word and write it, mate. It's part of my creative process.
How to Write a Book by Brian Ennis.
Yes. The book of
bowl.
Ironically, the book's called Spoon.
It's about the life of a cricket player. What you have to do is I write bowl 6 times, then turn the book upside down and write it the other way up. Now that's a proper cricket joke.
So much so I didn't get it.
Yeah, Joe's properly stumped by that one.
Fuck me.
Yeah, I don't do sports.
No.
God, we go into the future and it still happens. I was hoping we got away from the puns. I thought it was a one-night thing.
I'm putting extra puns in to make it easier to blend together of what we said.
You could have gone for stitching it together.
I could have fucking should have. Yeah.
Get good.
Well, bad things happen, mate.
They do.
Cool. It's one of those ones where once they're reduced below half wounds, you have to declare it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then your opponent knows, and there's still 2 victory points up for grabs.
So they might massively change how they play.
Yeah. Now, we had a discussion in the past where we talked about if you forget that.
Yes.
Now, actually, in Gaining Grounds, I keep wanting to say Gamergate 2018. Sick Kyle. Fucking nutters. In Gaining Grounds 2018, if you don't declare when you should do, you can score no points from that scheme. So if you later trigger it again, and they're like, but you should have said
last time
that before.
To specify the first.
So you can't be get them below half wounds, be I want to make sure I kill them and get the 2 points, not tell them. If you forget, and then you kill them later, tough fucking tits, you don't get nothing. Nothing. 0. 9s!
No, nothing, not 9. But the thing to be aware of with this is if you are playing I still can't remember the name of this goddamn strategy.
Public executions.
If you're playing public executions and this is on the table,
it has to be on the table.
But if your leader goes down to less than half wounds, say it's down to less than half wounds. Yeah. Because if I go, I've done 6 points of damage to that person. If I'm not looking at the card every time,
that's true.
and asking, and I don't want to ask every time because it makes it obvious of what I'm doing. So when your leader is damaged and goes below half, say if you've got this, you'll score a point now.
I think it's good practice to be open in that way.
It's good manners. It makes a much better play environment. You feel less like you're trying to get away with things rather than you're playing the game properly and trying to outthink your opponent.
You'll feel like you strategically won a game rather than con somebody.
I won because they forgot and denied themselves 3 points.
In the immortal words of Colin Howard, you'd be being a cunt.
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to leave that in, aren't you?
Possibly like last one you put in.
Being a joss.
Being a right joss. Because you should. I mean, it's possible that you're going to forget yourself, but to be honest, you should be shitting it when they attack your master when you're playing these schemes and strategies because it's there.
And if both of you are trying to remember and both of you are doing this, then that's fine.
I take this one all the time.
Yeah.
I like it because it's really straightforward.
Yeah,
and there's some slight wibbly wobbliness with like models and
But it's also really fun to go and kill their master.
yeah, kill their best model
On turn 2.
Oh, you got more options.
Yeah, cheers, Colin. And I do have one recommendation from the tournament.
Yeah.
Don't take it against Tara because she can teleport back to her own deployment zone.
Oh, you touched me, run away.
I had a Tara on 1 wound.
Oh.
Hiding in a corner of the board.
Check out this 0 action. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. 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 And are there any other masters it's really bad against? Obviously the ones that come back. So Leviticus. Really, if this is in the pool, you don't want to be taking McCabe.
No, you don't. He's really bad at it.
Because he takes 7 wounds and is sacrificed.
Yeah.
And then you get dismounted McCabe.
Yeah.
So you're getting them 2 points really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although he's still on the... Is he still on the board?
We still McCabe.
Yes,
Still a master.
he is your master.
Yeah, he's got master on his thing.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Anyone that's got... Who's got hard to kill? Victorias are bad because they're fragile.
But the fact Victorias are really good at achieving this.
Yeah.
They're really bad at not getting killed themselves. In an ideal world, what you'll do is you'll land the killing blow with your Victoria of Ashes master model, who then has the new upgrade that allows her to bury. She chucks a couple cards and disappears, and then you unbury her in the last turn.
As long as you unbury her in the last turn, because if you don't,
then she's not in play.
Points. Yeah.
So just a bit of a memory game with that
So
one.
I think Ironsides is really good at this.
Yeah?
Yeah, because she can heal quite effectively on her own.
Yep.
And has hard to kill.
Yeah.
So she's fairly tanky. Like anyone that's fairly tanky.
Seamus has hard to wound. Impossible to wound.
Yeah. Seamus is good at this.
Yeah.
Sandeep as well. Sandeep's good at everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't really need a
Yeah.
thing for that.
And when you kill their master, you will gain shed blood. Condition, as long as another one of their models can see you.
Which is likely because it's rare you put your master away from everything else. You'd normally have something to support your master. I
think this is tricky against if you know you're going to be playing against a support master that's going to hang back.
Yeah.
Or just a long range one like Rasputin or Eva.
Yeah. But I think most factions have a good mix of combat and long ranged masters.
Yeah. I would have.
Guild more long range masters than combat masters.
Potentially, and resurrectionists are more close range than long range. You've got a few support masters in there, and you've got Reaver.
The reses are shitty to murder.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think most have a good mix.
Cool.
Which, as you're picking stuff after you've seen what the strategies are, you've got some options at least.
Oh god, they've taken Rasputina. I'm never going to get to her. Fuck that.
Yeah.
The one time I played Joe when this was in the pool in GG 2017 and didn't take it when it was available was the one fucking time I killed Rasputina. And I went, oh no, I changed my mind at the last minute because I've never killed her before. It's the worst day. Anything to add, gentlemen?
No, I think that covers it for the paired.
Yeah. Then back to your regularly scheduled programming. So the first numbered one is Covert Breakthrough. Number 1. At the end of the game, this crew earns 1 victory point for each of its scheme markers within 6 inches of the enemy deployment zone. This pairs well with anything else that's getting you across the board. It pairs well with things like the wagons, where you're going to be running over the board, across the board anyway, potentially.
Probably pairs better with Symbols of Authority.
Yeah, excellent, because you're going to be right up in their grill.
Double interact. I take that away. I drop a scheme marker.
Yeah. Oh, efficient.
Sounds good. And yeah, I mean, this is one for your what the game terms scheme runners. Those quick models that can get across the board and drop the markers in the right place and kind of survive doing so.
You're from the shadows stuff again.
Yeah. That's always useful. In theory, they can start in position to do it and then wander off and join the fight. Yeah.
Cool. So number 2.
Yes.
Dig their graves.
I love this one.
So, once per turn, after this crew kills or sacrifices an enemy non-peon model that is within 4 inches of one or more of this crew's scheme markers, this crew earns 1 victory point.
Yeah.
Now, after scoring, your opponent may remove 1 scheme marker friendly to your crew within 4 inches of the killed or sacrificed model.
They get to pick which grave it falls in.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's interesting that the opponent chooses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can theoretically help deny them from doing it again.
Other things.
Other things, yeah.
Other things,
Now, some interesting things with this one.
Yep.
It's once per turn.
It is once per turn, so you can't set up multiples. You need to drag your kills out.
Yep.
Yep.
Non-peon, so anything else counts. Summons count.
Yep.
Yep.
And you can kill or sacrifice.
Yep.
Yep.
And anything can kill, so a peon can push something in a grave.
Yes.
Which is interesting. This obviously pairs really well with the killy strategies.
Yep. Watch me kick them into a grave. Ha ha ha.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to display their blood and then bury them.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm going to bury half of them. The rest stays
the
out
rest
here
I'm going to
in
wear
my
as a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes quite nicely with some of the other schemes. If you're going to be dropping lots of scheme markers anyway, then being able to kind of do stuff.
So again, it's a nice way of throwing your opponent.
Anything like Titania that can chuck down a load of scheme markers means
Yeah.
that you've got a wealth of things to pick from and to score this off. So
Yeah.
There's a few of the pig things that when they kill something, they can drop a scheme marker.
Yeah.
So you've
So
got
the order depends on the order.
Yeah, that's the thing. Depending on the order.
Well, if it's the way I understand it is if it's your activation and it says when killed and this says when killed, you get to pick the order. So you pick
So
the scheme
scheme
marker and
marker
then you trigger the thing.
Yeah. If it says after killing, then it becomes.
Yeah. So I'll just
because this says after this crew kills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that says when this crew, then that should trigger first and you should get it.
Yeah. Cool. My favourite models for this were the Witchling Stalkers, simply because the Witchling Thralls.
They're your favourite model for everything.
Yeah,
Brian.
I'm talking about them a lot, but if you drop a scheme marker within 4 inches of one, it gets to punch. So you can dig a grave, and it gets really angry about graves being dug and punches.
Because it wants it filled.
Yeah.
No empty holes.
Yes.
Hang on. Aaron.
Yeah. So they're really, really good.
Yeah. So number 3 then, setup. When you choose a scheme, note down an enemy master, henchman, or enforcer model. Once per game, at the end of any turn, this crew may reveal the scheme to earn a number of victory points equal to the number of this crew's scheme markers within 4 inches of the noted enemy model.
Yeah.
They remove all this crew's scheme markers within 4 inches.
You can score all 3 of your scheme points in one go with this.
Yes, you can.
In fact,
Well, it's
if you
the
want
only
all
way.
3 points,
You
it's
have
the only way
to.
to get it. Yeah.
So it's quite a difficult setup, ironically.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're using. If you've got loads of stuff that chucks down scheme markers,
Yeah, then you've got a
you're
advantage.
good.
Yeah. Now there's there's been equivalent similar things to
Yes,
this
there has.
before. I very rarely take them because I find them quite fiddly.
Yeah.
But they go really well with those masters that are dropping scheme markers and making people drop things in combats and things like that.
Or models that can drop scheme markers when engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or models that can drop them that don't require the interact action. Yeah. So there's quite a few ways.
Ideally, all 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
To be able to get all of them down.
Pick one of their things that is going to activate early in the turn, generally.
Yeah.
And then mob it, throw a bunch of markers down,
Yeah.
and beat the shit.
I think the key to this one is.
Well, no, you don't want to beat the shit out of it. You'll leave it alive to the end of the turn.
Is looking at your enemy's crew and going, which model's coming to me?
Yeah.
Because that makes it so much easier.
Yeah. Well, if they've got something like a Joss that's going to be getting up in your face, set up a nice target for the Joss, and then put some scheme markers near it. Yeah, come on. Then.
Yeah.
What's also quite interesting about this, most of them is after the first turn.
Yeah.
This could be any turn.
Yeah.
So theoretically,
You
again,
could
from
do
the
this
shadow,
turn
something right in the middle of it, drop loads of scheme markers down. They've activated, obviously.
That's a spicy meatball, Aaron. Well thought. I like it.
So you could score loads of points really early on,
Yeah.
really fuck them over.
It
That's
is-
psychologically demoralising.
Yes.
It is tricky to get that many scheme markers within 4 inches of a single point because you can't drop them within 4 inches of another scheme marker.
So you kind of want to be making a triangle around them.
Or having people that let you just piss out scheme markers rather than taking interact actions to drop them.
Yes.
Do you know what's interesting?
Particle physics.
Yes, but in relation to this, keeping on topic,
Yeah.
the mostly guild models that drop scheme markers when they die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come and... I'm going to...
Kill
Your
me.
beta.
Yeah.
Kill me, bump.
Shits out some scheme markers.
Yeah.
Like, walk forward and drop one, and then have two people there that are going to...
If you have this and Frame for Murder in the same pool, really good. Yeah, you're going to kill that guy. Everything is good.
Or you get into a position where you have them in the same pool, don't take either of them, and throw one at them, and they're going, "No, just go away! I don't want to kill it." Like, runs around with impunity for the entire game, laughing as you do other things until they realise you're not doing it, and they stab it.
Yeah,
but yeah, cool.
Number 4, then hold up their forces. Again, may not start revealed. Reveal this scheme once the crew has earned any VP. After the first turn, you gain a victory point if at least one of your non-peon models is engaged with 2 enemy models with no other friendly models engaging them. At least 2. So this is basically you're running a model in, getting engaged with a couple things in some kind of polyamorous tryst. And then you are hoping to survive to the end of the turn to score the points. So you're kind of abandoning models on their own.
So this is great for models like Joss that are tanky.
Yeah, tanky stuff that can do it.
It's great for things like Grimwell, who can keep people in place.
Yeah, you can't stop me scoring this. I will.
It's also really, really good against summoners.
Yes.
Because they're going to end up with lots of models.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you can run in and tie them up...
Yeah.
You're got scoring points from.
Yeah.
Again, pairing well with strategies where it's forcing you to get close to each other.
Yeah.
Really good with wagons.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's
they're
what
going
you
to
want
run
to
and
do.
stand near their wagon and be like, no, fuck off.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
I'm doing 2 things at once. Yay! Da-da. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of the ones where it's almost one of those ones where you're then thinking, even if you've not taken it, because it's in the pool, you're trying to avoid that situation.
Yeah. Why is he running towards me? No!
And you can actually be like, I don't actually want to kill this model, because then it leaves open a hold up their forces potential score.
Yeah.
Or I don't. Then you're kind of going, I don't want to throw a second model in there just in case, and they might not want it. It becomes very interesting the way it plays
potentially
out.
everybody could be wanting 1-to-1 battles about nobody taking this.
Which is where an elite crew is really, really good.
Yes.
This is very good for elite crews because they're not going to want to multiple engage on you, and so you get to go, my thing's better than yours, and kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing, the couple times I played this, it has been sprung on me from nowhere, and I'm like, oh, they've got a point, and then you're trying to stop them getting the point, and actually it's quite hard.
Yeah.
So,
especially if they can out-activate you and kind of pick a...
Lures are great.
Yeah.
Pulling people out,
Pulling people out, or pulling people in. You come here. You two both here now. Yeah. You go engage them.
You've come and engaged me as well,
People with massive melee ranges, Lilitu.
Yeah.
Watch me having an 8-inch bubble of...
The Iran's my
Yeah, we're engaged. I'm engaging you two, so we're engaged, but you can't actually hit me at the moment.
Yeah. So Ulix again with his 4-inch.
Yeah, it becomes really good. Yeah. But it also that plays against you because it's really... No, it doesn't. Ignore that.
Yeah, but it is also encouraging you not to kill enemy models.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because you want lots of their models about. If you kill too many of their models, then it's really hard to score.
Yeah.
You don't want to table them until you've scored all your points.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Cool. So number 5.
Yes.
Undercover Entourage. This is one of my favourite schemes.
Okay.
Not seen this one before.
So when you choose the scheme, note down one of this crew's masters or henchman models. At the end of the game, if the chosen model is in the opponent's half of the table, you gain a victory point. If the chosen model is in the enemy deployment zone, you gain an additional victory point. And if it's in the opponent's half of the table and has more than half of its original wounds remaining, you gain an additional point.
Yes.
So I really like this.
You like stuff like this where you've got kind of like get across the board and do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. I very rarely.
But you know what? This and the one where you're dropping scheme markers in their deployment zone. If you've got a really good scheme runner like a Blessed December,
it has to be a henchman or a master, doesn't it?
What's that?
That your pick.
Master or henchman?
Yeah.
Or is that an enforcer? Okay, yeah. So there are still very good models you can do it with.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
stuff that can heal itself.
Yeah,
is great. Victoria being able to bury and pop back up later on.
Yeah,
is always good because you can murder some stuff near your own, bury yourself, and then get someone to pop you back up at their deployment zone.
I'm thinking I quite like the idea of doing this with Lord Chompy Bits and the Dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have
can't.
It has to be the Dreamer because you don't hire.
Chompy.
But you turn him into Chompy. Chompy does his thing. If he dies, the Dreamer pops out. Later on, turns back into Chompy, and then you just unbury the Dreamer in their deployment zone at the end of the game. I quite like the idea of doing it with Lynch and using the Hungering Darkness.
Yeah.
Because again, it could die, but it buries and it comes back, and then throwing it across the table. That's quite fun.
Zip might be quite useful. This one again,
yeah,
because he can go from basically one side of the board to the other, so he can just hide over one side of the
table. Now, Rezzers I thought would struggle, but you just give them a horse.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like Rezzers, actually, any of them can do the shape. To be honest, Seamus is really good at it because he's teleport.
Good.
Yeah.
Reaver is good because she's quick.
Anything that can heal itself.
Yes. Yeah. Seamus, Reaver.
Things that heal, because then I've been reduced to 1 wound, but actually I'm going to sit in your deployment zone and heal myself, and then I count for more points, and everything is good.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Number 6, Aaron.
So we have Inescapable Trap.
Dun dun dun.
Again, it's a reveal one once it's been scored. So at the end of every turn after the first, this crew earns 1 victory point if 2 or more enemy non-peon models are within 3 inches of 1 or more ski markers friendly to this crew. Then remove 1 qualifying ski marker. So interestingly, you're choosing the ski marker.
This has caused a lot of debate.
Okay.
So, if 2 or more enemy non-peon models are within 3 inches of 1 or more scheme markers. Now, if you've got 2 scheme markers 10 inches apart, and there's a model next to each one, does that count?
If they said 1 or more scheme markers friendly to this screen.
Now this is the thing. As written, to me, it doesn't matter if they're different scheme markers.
No.
Whereas the believed intention is it's the same marker.
Okay.
Because it's 1 trap.
Which does make sense.
Yeah. Now, and this is a big thing, and something I wanted to bring up at this point. Rules as intended versus rules as written.
Yeah.
Now, most of the time, I'm quite happy going with rules as intended.
Yeah.
Because that's fine, as long as everyone understands the intention.
Yeah.
The problem that comes into this is in competitive play. Because you're playing from a whole lot of different people, from a whole lot of different metas, as it were, from a whole lot of different gaming groups.
Who are going to have read it differently.
Yes. So, anything like this, if you've got a shit-hot TO, you're fine. Because they'll mention it at the beginning. And I want to be very clear, that is not a dig at anyone that has encountered this problem recently. Because I know it has happened, and it has happened to the TO that ran the tournament we ran, and it is not a kind of going, I'm not going, if you're any good, so you're not. But things like this are something to be aware of. Like, if you've got someone that is perfectly on their game, then boom, it might not be an issue because you mentioned it at the beginning. But if you don't know it's going to be an issue, you can't always do that.
Yeah, because you could arguably have read it as one way and go, I can't see how anybody else to see it differently.
Yeah, and that happens all the time because you read it and think it sounds.
They have to be near the same marker.
Yeah.
Why does it say?
It would say, but near the same. Yeah, near the same marker. It doesn't matter about other markers. They don't.
The reason I think the reason it says 1 or more is because it wants to say 1 of your scheme markers.
Yeah.
Right, but if it says 1 of your scheme markers and there are 2...
You're within 3 inches of 2 markers.
So you can't get the 1.
You just say within 3 inches of the same scheme marker, the same friendly scheme marker. That's what it should say, and it's not what it says.
I completely agree with you. The way this reads, and the way I would be saying if I was organising something, is that, no, it just has to be within 3 or more of scheme markers.
Yeah. It seems really easy to score.
Yeah, I believe the intention is the same marker.
to make it, because
I genuinely think that's what they're trying to achieve. But
that's really
that's not
worded.
what's written. Yeah.
I mean, I know we were being a bit pedantic over full stops and commas before, but you know, that's being pedantic. That's shit.
I can completely understand why this has caused so much drama.
Yeah, huge.
Because it's not great. Now, I would say with us, we would go, right, how are we going to play this?
Yeah.
Either way is fine. Basically, is it really easy or is it a bit more difficult?
Yeah.
And I would err on the side of as most of these things I think you should do, you err on the side of the less powerful outcome.
Yeah, because otherwise if one person takes the other don't, they've got some easy points.
Yeah, so I do think that the idea is it is one marker,
Yeah.
and they're within that of the same marker. But again, as written at the moment,
yeah,
I would argue that no, it can be separate markers.
Yes. So,
But
it's another discuss before play.
It very much is, but I think that will change.
Yeah.
I think they will turn around and clarify that because it's going to have to happen.
Is it easier to have? I suppose having them close to the same marker, you only need to drop one marker.
Yeah.
True.
But I think.
But you've got to then lure two people to it. Whereas
if you drop a marker and have lots of people around it, and you kind of.
Yeah, but if you're playing someone that can piss out markers, that's not hard.
Yeah.
To get two models near one of your markers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would just clarify it before you start your game.
Yeah.
Or at least before you pick it.
Yeah.
If you see this in the scheme pool, just be aware that it might be interpreted differently, and you should check with your opponent, if not check with the event organizer.
Yeah.
Just as a thing.
Cool.
So, number 7.
Yeah.
Show of Force.
Cool. That's me, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So it's another one that as soon as you score any VP from it, it's revealed.
Which is, again, I think a general rule we can safely assume. If it's not end of the game, you reveal it once it's scored.
Yep. So at the end of every turn after the first, count the number of face-up upgrades with a printed cost greater than 0 attached to each non-master model within 6 inches of the centre of the board for each crew. Upgrades which began the game attached to a master do not count towards this total. Mm-hmm. So your master's upgrades do not count. So you're looking at the upgrades.
Well, it's each non-master model anyway.
Yeah.
Well, there are one.
There are two masters that I can think of that this matters for.
Jackdaw and McCabe.
Yeah.
So you're talking about upgrades on your henchmen and your enforcers.
Yeah.
Yes. If this crew has at least one qualifying upgrade and has a number of qualifying upgrades equal to or exceeding the opposing crew's number of qualifying upgrades, this crew earns 1 victory point. Bit of a mouthful, but what it's saying is count the number of cards, not the soulstone cost. And it's again, you have to beat the opponent.
Now, this favours elite crews again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when you're fully aware that somebody's playing the Crosshair 7 and won't be able to afford upgrades very much, so you put one upgrade on one of your henchmen and stick it in the middle of the table.
The correct way of doing it, because I think you've missed a couple of these conversations. So you generate your schemes and strategies.
Yeah.
You declare your factions.
Yeah.
You pick your crews.
Yeah.
You reveal your crews.
Yeah.
Then you pick what you're taking. So if you look at theirs and go, you've not got any upgrades on enforcers or henchmen. Quite easy to score that.
Yeah. As long as you've got some. Yeah.
So
So you might pick your crew in order to be able to play it with the intention of doing it, but you could also go, shit, they've got loads. No, I'm not going to bother. I'll pick something else.
But they will take it, so I need to make sure I'm stopping them getting in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
so you're rebuilding.
If you both take it, you can't both score because you have to have more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting one.
So it could be a.
Yeah.
There's an interaction.
Just basically a deniers scoring system on this one.
It's really anti-synergistic with the table quarters strategy because you have to be in the middle of the board and that doesn't count. So
you have to be within the thing you don't want to be within.
Yeah.
I mean, this can be awkward to score or really easy to score.
Yeah.
Which I quite like.
Yeah.
Because it's not awkward or easy because of what it is. It's awkward or easy depending on what your opponent does. And that's fine.
For me, I feel this one's making me go cross-eyed. And therefore I wouldn't bother taking it.
I'm quite glad I took it.
Yeah, you beat me in that game.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
But it is one that you read a couple of times and then go... Because once you go, oh, okay, I just need to have more upgrades on my stuff than them.
Yeah.
They can't be zeros.
Cool.
Which is good, because otherwise mages are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get 2s then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also good so pairs nicely with anything where you're holding the centre of the table.
Yep.
I meant to say earlier that.
Well, it pairs nicely with. I'm going to put down some markers that are 8 inches away and have a non-minion model doing it, because you go, cool. I'm going to go stand in the corner. I'm going to chuck a marker behind, stand in the centre. Sorry, chuck a marker behind me and be like, boom, this is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, cool.
Number 8, search the ruins. At the end of the game, this crew earns 2 victory points if it has 3 or more scheme markers within 6 inches of the centre and not within 2 inches of other friendly scheme markers. That's quite easily doable.
Yeah.
If at least 2 of the qualifying scheme markers are on the opponent's half, you gain an additional victory point.
Yeah.
So again, not particularly synergistic with ours.
No.
But you can stand outside of 6 and drop it within 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you can be clever with it.
Yeah.
It's not completely anti, but you are pushing yourself close. Especially if they've got movement tricks to then go, oh, I push you in the middle. You don't count anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fairly simple one. It's quite good. Scheme runners are good, but you are having to do it near the centre. So scheme runners are normally quite quick and fragile.
You don't want scheme runners in the middle of the board,
particularly depending on what's going on.
You're going to be dropping this with other models.
Really, really good one though for scheme runners if you're playing Symbols of Authority, because you're not really going towards the middle, you're going past it.
Yeah.
So you can scheme runner because sort of nip in after the enemy crews tried to get past.
Yeah, as a second wave.
Like, cool, we're coming towards the end of the game. I'll go back here, do this.
And go boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like that one.
Yeah.
Again, it changes where you're playing the game based on... The other ones are the corners, now you're playing the centre, so you're always sort of moving about and shifting.
It goes nicely with other things. So if you're dropping scheme markers in the centre of the board anyway...
If you just fill the centre of the board with markers and then dig their graves and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. But again, with dig their graves, they're bitten to pick, so they might take the ones that are going to cause you problems. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Number 9.
Take prisoner. So, when you choose a scheme, note down an enemy model. At the end of the game, if this crew has at least one non-peon model engaged with a noted enemy model, this crew earns 2 victory points. If this crew earns any victory points from the scheme and there are no other enemy models within 3 inches of the noted model, the crew gains an additional victory points.
This one's weird.
Yeah, that's very odd.
It's an enemy model, a single enemy model. So it doesn't have to be a henchman, a leader, or anything like that.
No. But it needs to be something that's going to live until the end of the game.
Yeah.
And that you can live with having leaving alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is likely to be on its own.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be not within 3 inches. I mean, 3 inches isn't massive.
Well, also, but you could just go, I'm going to let that 1 point go to get the 2.
I would be taking this if I'm playing a crew that hands out slow or paralysed. So if I'm playing sort of shit on your day and have a rubbish game, Pandora, as I've named her, that handing out loads of paralysed and things like that, I'd quite happily take this because I'll just make sure I pin a model and be like, cool, you're going to sit there, everything's cool, and just keep paralysing you and stopping your play. Hannah is really good. Bury
that.
Yeah.
And just make sure you can get near it.
Yes. If you look at your opponent's crew and see they've got like a soup, like you're like, I'm never going to be able to kill that. That's a really horrible model.
But again, if it's surviving, so you kind of keep away from it and run at it towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in that last turn, it needs to not murder you.
Yep.
So activation would probably be an advantage.
Yes. Very risk reward as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had this pulled off against me at the tournament as I played against Tara, and my opponent declared Sonia as his target. And then the Nothing Beast just came and sat on her for a long time. And then also Talos as well. So lots of points dedicated to that, but they had also murdered a lot of things on the way in.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Take one for the team. Giggle, giggle.
I like the tagline for this one.
So we never really liked him anyway.
Never
loved you anyway. Really obscure viewing for a friend preference. Okay. When you choose this scheme, note and crew one of this crew's non-peon, non-leader models as sucker. If the chosen sucker model is killed or sacrificed by an enemy model, you earn a victory point.
Mm-hmm.
If the enemy model has a higher soulstone cost than the sucker or was a master, the crew earns an additional victory point. Some henchman models have a soulstone cost of 0. These models count as having a cost of 13 minus their cash.
Which is different.
So it's accounting for Victoria of Blood
and
Hunger and Darkness. Yeah. If the scheme was revealed on or after turn 4, this crew earns 1 additional victory point.
Yeah.
Now, it used to be you wanted to get them killed as quickly as possible.
Before turn 3.
In the old way, in Frame for Murder.
There was no soulstone cost involved. It was a master or henchman, I think.
Master and henchman got the extra 1.
Yeah. So now what you're doing is you're trying to pick the lowest possible soulstone model you can that you can live with losing but can keep alive until turn 4 and then feed to the right person. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
This is great in the no minions left thing.
Yeah, because you know they want you to kill. They're trying to kill your minions.
Yeah, so if you have one and you hide it and hide it and hide it and then go, oh no, I messed up, you can get it this turn. Right at the end they go, ha-ha, bang!
Yeah.
Cool, 3 points, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You can have the 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the stuff I like about Malifaux.
Yeah.
It's that you can be really cunning. And
they are proper schemes.
Yeah.
You are scheming to get this off. Yeah. I like the addition of making you have to keep the model alive. That's the big change that I like with that.
Well, because against an inexperienced player, you just run something forward and laugh when they murder it.
As an example, the last game I played before this stuff came out, I threw one of my balls at Colin's crew, knowing that once it's away from things, it will just go mental and start charging
until
things,
he kills
do loads of damage and he'd kill it.
If anyone ever plays Colin, he always picks the canine remains in his reses, and that's always the sucker.
Yeah.
Never kill his canine remains.
No.
Yeah. But it used to be because it used to be just throw a model at the enemy, and 9 times out of 10 they just kill it.
Yeah, because of panic.
Yeah. Oh my god, that thing's in your face.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's not. So the higher the soulstone cost of the model, the more likely it is to survive. Yeah. Until turn 4 to get you that point, but the less likely it is to be killed by something
worthwhile.
Worth more. It's kind of the thing, if you see that your opponent's hired a really elite crew, so everything's costing a lot of soul stones.
It's great.
And you've got a model. So I did this against Seamus in the tournament. I picked a Witchling Stalker, and every model that he had cost more than the Witchling Stalker, apart from the Copycat Killer. Guess who killed my Witchling Stalker in turn 3?
Ouch.
Oh.
1 point.
1 point. 1 mother humping point. Yeah. I like that. I like the idea of sacrificing models. If you've got, I think, anything that's really killy, it's a really nice choice. If you're not playing a killy strategy, or there's other killy schemes, then maybe not so much.
Unless you put it down as one of your scheme runners that you're going to try and lure them out with. But then you're sacrificing a scheme runner that you kind of don't take as many of because they're quite good and they do their thing. Yeah. It's an interesting one.
Yeah. Cool.
Number 11, recover evidence. So, this is an interesting one. So you cannot start the game revealed, obviously. But you may reveal this scheme at the beginning of any turn. After revealing this scheme, your opponent chooses 5 of their models in play, or all of them if they have less than 5. Place an enemy evidence marker in base contact with the models chosen by the opponent. So you, the player with the scheme, are placing the markers, but next to the models they choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Models in this crew may use a 1 interact action to remove an enemy evidence marker in base contact with itself. If they do, you earn a victory point. So again, you can score all of these in 1 turn.
Yes.
I like this one.
I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I really like the idea. I'm not sure how often I'll take it over some of the others.
I took it once in the tournament, and I went and remembered it when they had 4 models left.
Yeah, so they only got 4 markers.
Yeah, but you only need 3.
Yeah, you only need 3. Yeah.
So I was just like, this. Right, okay, cool. It's my first game. And yeah, I managed to get all 3 from it.
Yeah.
Whereas game we played, we both took it, both ended up revealing on the same game, same turn.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of markers lying around on the floor, and we were all kind of engaged with each other.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit like, this
this
could work. Yeah. It was a bit messy.
Because you can't take that one interact while you're engaged, you kind of have to move. So if you've got a crew that's got lots of pushes, pulls, that kind of thing, so you get them to drop it and then move them out of the way and come and scoop up. That's quite good. If you're playing against an elite crew, that can be useful because you know where they're going to be. If you're playing lots of stuff, or if you're playing against a gun line, or if they're going to be keeping some stuff back, then that might not be the best option. It's quite. This feels the closest to the old Headhunter, in that you're trying to sort of hoover up specific markers, but it's you.
But you're not killing to do it.
You're not killing to do it,
and the enemy then can't mess with them.
Yes,
that's an important thing.
It's an enemy marker, so they can't remove their own markers.
Yeah, and they can't move them either.
Yeah,
because all those move things. Because I'll be like the Wacko Raiders.
It's not a scheme marker, but they can't move
an enemy marker,
an evidence marker. So I quite like it. In all the games I've played with it, the other person's gone, I'm declaring this, and then I've gone, I should declare it as well.
And it causes massive chaos.
Because it's an injection of, oh my god, what the hell is going on? Which I quite like. I like the chaos of it, the confusion that it causes. But it's not. If I desperately want to win the game, I'm not sure it's one that I would take. Cool.
So number 12 then, Vendetta. Reveal when you score points. Scheming player notes one of their non-leader, non-peer models with a soulstone cost greater than 0, and an enemy model with a soulstone cost equal to or greater than the scheming player's chosen model. If the noted friendly model's first attack action in a game is against the noted enemy model, score a victory point and reveal the scheme. If the noted enemy model is not in play at the end of the game, and the scheme has been revealed, score 1 additional victory point. If the noted enemy model is killed by the chosen friendly model, score 3 victory points. So it's interesting. So you can, obviously you can't score more than 3 points.
No, you are still limited to 3.
But if you miss,
if it's not the first attack,
you've still got the chance to still.
And it is in play at the end of the game. If you killed it and it came back.
Yeah.
Well, no, it has to be killed, so you can't sacrifice from that model.
No.
So yeah, you could miss your first attack.
Yeah.
You could. But if you kill it with that model, you still gain all 3.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Because the only way to score the second point is by having the first attacks. You have to reveal the scheme.
Yeah.
Which you can only do by scoring that first victory point.
Yeah.
Because you can't choose to reveal schemes.
Unless it says you can.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this one.
It's too fiddly for my liking.
Yeah.
I really like it in certain circumstances.
Yes. Yeah. I can see.
So,
why.
If I'm playing Outcasts and I have hands, I'm taking this shit because he can see through most things, and he can shoot into combats without caring, etc., etc. The problem is that once you've made that first attack, it's declared. And then they know who's trying to kill who, and they can take evasive action. It's almost worth not doing it and just trying to finish it off with that particular model. He's really good at that. And
how many points is Hans?
He's not a lot of points now. My phone just died, so I can't look him up. He's now 7, I think.
Okay, no, that's pretty
good. So he's quite low. And yeah, I like that. I think it's a good one to take if you're deploying second. And you will know by the time you choose stuff.
Yeah.
Will you?
Yeah. Grab the rulebook. Just to be clear, on the encounter setup, at stage 4 you determine deployment, then you determine strategy and available crew schemes. So you know where you're going to be and which order you're going to deploy. Cool. If you're deploying second, then you can get that model near the model it needs to target. If you're deploying first, they might put that model fucking miles away. And you need to consider that, so it's not as necessarily as easy.
Like, because I look at this and go, ooh, for a easy couple of points from the shadow model with a range attack.
Frycore Trapper. Delicious.
December Acolytes.
Yeah.
Just be able to go, boom, there you go.
I've scored a victory point in...
And you're slow, and I just need to kill you by the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like,
and you want to pick kind of the weakest possible model you can?
Yeah, so you kind of want a low-cost one, but then it's hard to make that kill with it, and it's...
But then generally, like, if you're picking, say, a higher point model... it's going to be being attacked anyway, and you kind of know what it's going to do because they want to use it effectively. Whereas if you pick another minion, then where's it going to go? Is it, you don't necessarily know. So it's interesting. I quite like it.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from completely. There's some interesting things in go on with it, but I'm with Joe. It's a lot of fiddliness to it that would put me off choosing it. I can see why it's interesting.
Because you've got
this is different styles and different ways of playing.
It is,
as well.
and I think if you're like shit hot on your Malifaux and you know what you're doing, you're not having to think about so much other stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
But with us, I think we still sometimes go in. Oh God, I need to remember this, and it's another thing to remember.
Yeah. See, I would take this because
it's very picky in its activation order.
Because it involves killing stuff. For me, it feels straightforward, not difficult at all. So I'm quite happy with this one.
Okay.
Cool. Last one. So, number 13. Public demonstration. Make your voice heard. This scheme may not start revealed. When you choose this scheme, note down up to 3 minion models in this crew with a combined soulstone cost of at least 15. Once per game, at the end of any turn, this crew may reveal this scheme to earn a victory point for each of the noted models within 4 inches of line of sight of an enemy master, henchman, or enforcer. If I'm playing you, Joe, I'll take this because you take elite crews with lots of masters, henchmen, and enforcers. Sometimes with no minions.
Depends.
Especially.
Unless I'm playing Rasputina.
Yes.
Rasputina takes mostly minions.
But again, you get to pick this after I see what your master is. You've revealed your crew, so it's a good choice.
If I play my 5 model Ramos list.
But you need 3 models. They're minions, so you take 3 tough minions, but then they're costing a lot.
Or you take a 7 and 2 4s.
Yeah, but then you've got to keep that, because the moment one of those models dies, you've lost a victory point.
Are there any 8-point minions?
There are 9-point minions, the delicious Witchling Thralls.
Minion fucks. they're just good at everything, isn't they?
So they're minions, which means that Lucius can command them and they automatically pass horror jewels. They're not immune.
Yeah, they're just
so good.
Stupid good.
Yeah. I think they're the best minion in the game. I love them.
They are definitely.
I want to hug them and kiss them and
the only thing
call them George.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think might beat it? Ferdinand Vogel.
Is he a minion?
He's a minion.
He turns into
an enforcer.
Level up.
Yeah. And then level down when he turns back.
I think all Arcanist players should, by law, have to take this if it's in the pool.
Just so they have to take some minions.
Just because it's a public demonstration and that's what they're all about.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Also,
and I think Neverborn should be never allowed to take it because they have to work from the shadows. I don't think that at all, but I just thought it might be funny.
Yeah.
Are you drawn to this in any way? I don't know. I think I don't know. I wouldn't take this very often.
Yeah, depending on what I'm playing.
Yeah.
If you're going to run 3 Ice Dancers, Hurt Wicked.
Yeah.
Because no problem.
Yeah.
No, because it only has to be any master, henchman, or enforcer. So
I mean, they can all be engaged in the same one.
Yeah.
So.
Or it can be spread out across the entire map.
Yeah.
Again,
stuff where you're going to be near the enemy models anyway.
Yeah.
Is good. Really good for gather intel. Gather intel. What's it called? The strategy called where you gather intel. You gather intel.
Apply for information.
For information. Really good for apply for information because you're going to be next to each other but not necessarily beating each other up.
Yes.
So you go, oh, come and gather information on all my shitty minions. Ah, no, we scored 3 points.
Yeah.
Suck my face.
I'd consider taking this with the boars, because you tend to keep them bunched up together anyway with something that can keep them under control.
Yeah.
And then a master turns up, you just charge them in there.
Do you know what is interesting?
Cool.
Yeah, stuff that's really quick, and if you can get to the point where you're out activating your opponent, so you go, well, I will move these 3 Insidious Madnesses in because they've got Incorporeal and a 14-inch move.
Yeah. So many things I look at and go, Hamlet would be good at this.
Yes, yeah, because you
out, activate, and then just go. Meh.
Here are the 3 things that.
I mean, obviously, this is going to be very dependent on what the opponent's crew.
Oh
is.
yeah, this is one of those ones where you go. It's in the pool, so you either make the choice you're going for it, or you're not.
Yeah.
Don't take it in things where they're trying to kill your minions.
Yeah.
No.
Great in wagons. Great in. Points of Authority. That's a Linkin Park song.
Stop it, Jay. You put me one step closer to the edge with all these references.
You're about to break, Brian.
I am about to break.
So
hopefully I'll become numb.
Excellent.
Simple.
As long as it doesn't start like, right. Well, in the end.
God, I know how Joe feels. Sad.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every podcast, Aaron. Every podcast. So now, for every pun, I'm going to start referencing nu metal. So, yeah. It's quite a good one.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
Mm-hmm. See, I probably would never take it. It's different styles,
it's just, but it's the reason I like it is because it's awesome 10% of the time. When everything aligns, when the stars align and they've got loads of enforcers and you've put some minions in and it's available, it's wicked.
I'd quite like to take this with my Pandora crew, actually, because I will throw a Teddy at you using Cade and Teddy's extra pushes and pull.
And then they'll move 3 minions up and go, meh.
Well, maybe they do it to me, but then I just follow up with Insidious Madnesses or Teleporting Sorrows. They're not going to be bothered about those because the Teddy's about to eat your face.
Yes.
And they're going to be dealing with the big threat. And then I'm like, cool. And you want their auras overlapping anyway because that,
this is what I
your
mean.
willpower's reduced and all those.
At certain points, it's so good.
But
I wouldn't build the time. You'll never take it.
I wouldn't build a crew necessarily with the intention of taking it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's the kind of thing where you go, actually, that could be good.
If you're going to be taking someone that takes minions anyway, it might be amazing.
Lucius.
Yes.
But you have to pick the right minions to get them in the right place.
And this is it. There's so much that goes into it.
And that's what puts me off because there's a lot of moving parts.
What I find interesting is that you've used that excuse for this one, but the one where there's also lots of moving parts and is awkward that we think, you've gone, that's fine.
For me it doesn't feel awkward to me.
This is probably the joy of Malifaux.
There's something for everyone.
That's fiddly for me because my crew does these sort of things, but for somebody else, it's like, no, it makes perfect sense. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Which means other people are doing different things because there are a couple on here where we've gone, we probably both take that if that's on there, but
so
there's always a bit of variety in possibilities.
Something that I think is interesting. Now, we've already mentioned with strategies before, we hated Headhunter. Just bum. And there's been schemes before that we've gone, ugh.
Yeah, it comes up, nobody ever takes it.
Yeah. Do you feel that they're getting better?
Yeah.
They are, apart from the 2 with shitty wording that we couldn't agree on.
Yes.
Right, so assuming that wording is fixed, this is a really, really good pull.
Yeah. As long as it's clear, I don't really mind about the ones that are unclear, if that makes sense. As soon as they clarify one way or the other for them, it's fine and they're fine.
Yeah, and then this pool is the best pool we've had.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think that's been true every time they've released a new one. And I think Wyrd are doing a very good job of going in the right direction with these.
Yeah.
They're built off it. And it's not just, it doesn't just feel like a response to necessarily what the meta's been before. It feels like, you know what, I want to see how these kind of crews manage this sort of thing. Let's play with this sort of thing.
Potentially.
Let's have a schemey set of schemes.
Or even just to go, look, we're moving the game in the direction we want. And do you know what? You don't have to release new models for that. You don't need to release specific thing. Like you don't have to errata things because things aren't going the way you want. Oh my god, there's too many summoners. Well, rather than errataing and nerfing summoners, we're just going to change the way you play the game a little bit.
Summoning
so
isn't
it's
as
not
useful
as good anymore. And the fact they can do this, I think, is wonderful. And I think it speaks a lot to how good Malifaux is as a game.
Yeah.
In its original design, in the way they've taken it forward, and the way it's progressed and evolved.
Yeah.
Because you look at 40k from back when we used to play. Well, the only way you change how the game is played is by releasing an entirely new fucking edition.
Yeah.
Or nerfing the shit out of the things that's really good at murdering, because it was just it was target acquisition the game with a side of good movement. Like,
yeah,
the movement phase was the biggest thing in that game.
Yeah,
as long as you could pick a target well, like. And that game never changed until they went and did massive overhauls of rules and the way it's played. Now, whereas we've been on M2E for a while now. There are a couple of little rules in M2E I don't like. M2E 2.5 would be, well, M2E point whatever. Oh fuck, that would work. But like that would be
M2.5e.
Yes, would be nice. Yeah, because it would allow you to. Maybe tweak some of the rules, like fucking height and standing on things and shooting. Like,
yeah, there's some weird stuff that doesn't really work.
Simplify that shit and into just measure horizontally and it's in range or it's not.
Yeah.
And
yeah, a little bit of clarification on the order that certain things happen at certain points.
Yes,
would be
a Netrunner-esque flowchart.
Yeah.
Like, I love, for these, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but for these games, I love a flowchart. Because when someone goes, no, you can go, no, look, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. 2, right, where are we at the moment? Here. Right, so this happens then, that happens then.
It's more a bullet pointed list in your example, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, well, there can be arrows.
Well, we can't visually show the arrows.
I'm not a visual learner, I like a list.
Fair enough. Well, you can do it either way. But, like, those kind of things are really good. So, yeah, so a little bit more clarification on that. And a couple of simplifications on rules that are bum.
And all the Zero Soulstone upgrades that don't do anything need to go onto all the cards, so I have less cards floating around.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a balance issue, so they can have the 0 one, but then they can't have another one, that's fine.
Yeah, but if it's just the Arcanist, the Oxfordian Mages, it's just a thing they have. Well, it isn't. It isn't. I don't know if you could put that on the card because it's got a thing that says discard this upgrade for an effect.
Yeah, once per game.
Once per game, you may do this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. So, overall, this is good. There are none in there that are terrible.
Yeah.
No, like we have had before.
Yeah.
There are none in there that have gone, oh my god, I would never take it.
No.
There's fringe cases.
Yeah, ones where we go, not sure, but
it's I'd have to be in this particular game, in this scenario.
Yes, there's a couple I think doesn't suit me as a player.
But you might at some point go, oh shit, actually, hang on.
Yeah.
That works.
There is no headhunter where you're like, oh, are we playing this? I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
Well, because there's no strategy that's shit.
Yeah.
And that's a really big bonus.
Yeah.
Because there's no strategy that's shit. There's no point where you go, ugh, because you're not forced to take it.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think out of any 5 schemes that pop up, you're going to find it quite difficult now to go, I just can't pick anything I want to do. Because you don't get a choice of 4, you get a choice of 5.
Yeah.
So, I'm really happy with this. And I would suggest everyone uses it.
It's tied in with what they've done with their writers. It's adding more flexibility to the games.
Yeah.
Got more choice, more open-ended, which might not necessarily be a positive thing for new players because it might be just confusing again. But I think it's streamlined a little bit more that...
I think these were potentially easier for new players to play
the actual
than
schemes
the ones that are in the books, because there's no, do I reveal this at the start of the game or not?
Yeah,
which is an extra decision to make before you even know what you're doing, really. And they seem less fiddly.
Yeah.
And there's only a couple that do seem fiddly.
And do you know what? If you're a new player, don't take them. Don't put them in the pool. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with manually picking your scenarios.
Or you start
your encounter.
Yeah.
Well, we recommended long ago in our How to Get Started with Malifaux podcast to just pick a strategy and then add in 2 schemes that both players are trying to achieve, and then maybe doing that, playing a few of them and getting an idea of how different things feel, and then adding in things. So you don't need to chuck them all in.
No, not at all.
I mean, if you're learning on your own, then maybe just generating a couple. If you're teaching someone, or you're learning with an experienced player, picking ones that work and are complementary, or going, right, we're going to focus on scheme markers today. Let's take some schemey ones. Now we're going to kill, well, after maybe a couple games of just like kill stuff. I think a lot of people are used to playing games where killing stuff is always good. Whereas actually Malifaux goes, oh yeah, you just killed the guy that I wanted you to kill. The sucker is dead, I get points. You can't score this thing because you killed everything. Or you just killed everything, but you haven't been doing the other shit.
We're always going back to one of the first games we played. I still remember that you tabled me, but I won that game. And that's the thing with Malifaux. Like you can lose every single model and win the game. And that's wonderful.
Not for the models, but
Aaron, they're plastic, mate. They don't have feelings. It's fine.
But they're lost. You got to buy them again.
I was going to say, by tabled, what you meant was you flipped the table over and smashed all your models to pieces.
No. He had killed all of my things, so they were no longer.
You're not familiar with that, are you? Okay. I didn't know if you were playing dumb or you were dumb. Well played.
It's a coin flip. Cool. Then does that wrap us up?
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. We have been the Critical Twits. If you enjoyed that, then please feel free to like, share and subscribe. That would be amazing. We're also currently in all of our videos and podcasts, we're asking people for a favour. Those of you that follow the world of YouTube will know that small channels like ours are facing demonetization, which means that we won't get paid for any of the content that we put out. And we don't get paid a lot anyway. But it's something that helps keep things ticking over, helps us buy equipment, helps us buy bits and pieces or chuck it towards petrol, to events and things like that.
Every now and again buying Colin a new box to live in.
That kind of thing. Crackers. We buy a lot of white people.
It's kind of going food, Christmas decorations, or racism.
That's a complicated word, isn't it?
No, it's just got many meanings.
Yeah, it's
inherently
complex in and of itself. So we're just asking that if you really feel like helping us out and you enjoy what we do, please pop over to YouTube and subscribe. We need several hundred more subscribers fairly quickly to keep on making some. Yes. Or if you're interested in giving us money on a regular basis, let us know and we might set up a Patreon style
We've been considering it for a while.
Yeah.
So that might be our next step.
We have no idea if that's something that people would like to do. So if you would, let us know.
And if there's anything particularly reward-wise in that respect, you expect or hope for.
Definitely. It's actually a good opportunity for people to shape what we do. If they're like, stop playing video games and do more Malifaux, then tell us and we'll do that, because Joe's going to contribute to our Patreon. You don't do video game stuff with us. You do sometimes.
No, but I'd like to do more Malifaux.
Yeah.
So if I just put on a load of things going, I'll pay you if you just do Malifaux and Netrunner, then I get to participate with all of the things.
So thank you very much for listening. I have been absolutely awesome and really funny today. I have been full of my own self-importance and also Brian Ennis.
I've been Aaron Ravinsky and equally as uninformed and dull as I usually am.
No, you can't say that's boring. No, none of this false modesty.
It's not false modesty. I genuinely am uninformed about Malifaux.
You said you were dull. If you were really dull, I'd just kick you off the podcast, mate. And you're Joe.
Hi.
And you have a beard.
We all have beards. It's not a defining characteristic of me.
The internet doesn't know.
They do, because they commented on it once.
Yes, and asked us if it was a bad facial hair convention.
Shitbeard pie.
Mine was better. At least it was a bit
creative.
Anyway, so we can't end a podcast
still.
No.
Yes, this is the ongoing.
We're really lonely and no one wants to go home. I'm already home. It's fine.
We just like your home.
Yeah, it's nice. It's got a Malifaux board and just me in it now. It's lonely.
And a cat.
A cow. Fucking angry cat. So, until next time, thank you very much for listening. We'll be back soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Joe said goodbyes.
It's difficult to find representation if you are not white, especially in a war game, as it is. So having people just literally whitewash their characters can be a point of offence.
You generally do flesh wash because you want the deep darker colour on the inside.